Ray Millstone branch here in Raleigh. But first and foremost, before we get started, I want to give all praise to the Heavenly Father, His one begotten Son,
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Ray Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. We're going to get into it. Here we are in the last days, man. Being watchful, being prayed up, making sure that you're right with your power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, truly fearing Him, not just out here for shits and giggles like a lot of you Israelites out here are, because we're in some serious times, man. Go ahead,
Yeah, let me get Job 28:28.
That's a great scripture to go open up with.
All right.
Seeing the times that we're in,
This is the book of Job, chapter 28, verse 28. And unto man he said, Behold, the fear of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, that is wisdom.
Right. It said what? It says behold. It says behold, which means to look. All right. It says unto man. All right. So this is speaking to a particular man. All right. This is speaking to the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American man. All right. According to the seed line of your father. Okay. It says behold unto man. Yep. Baba Kashai, you read it from the top.
This is the book of Job, chapter 28, verse 28. And unto man he said, Behold, the fear of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, that is wisdom.
It says the fear of the Lord, the fear, all right? So what is fear? Fear is having a deep level of reverence and respect for our power, all right? All right, fear is being obedient to our power, all right? Not just trembling, which you should tremble, you should the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, it should make you you should be terrified, all right? But more so, you show your fear of the Lord through obedience. Yep. Got it, brother.
And to depart from evil is understanding.
Yep. It says what? It says behold the fear of the Lord. It says, and unto man he said, behold the fear of the Lord. It says that is wisdom. All right. So where is wisdom found? All right. Wisdom is found. All right. In the marketplaces. All right. In the Greek they call it the agora. All right, which is in your inner cities. All right. The scriptures say that wisdom crieth in the streets. All right. So how do you receive this wisdom, man? You receive this wisdom. All right, via the prophets. All right, starting with the apostles of Great Millstone on down to the elders. Okay. Now say you can read it.
Okay, God. This is the book of Job, chapter 28, verse 28. And unto man he said, Behold, the fear of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding.
And to depart from evil is understanding, all right? So to depart from evil, man, what is evil? Evil is disobedience, aka sin. And what is sin? 1 John 3 and 4, sin is the transgression of the laws. All right? So that means what? If you fear the Lord, you're not gonna be eating abominable foods. You're not gonna be in tattoos, bald heads, getting lineups. All right? You ain't gonna be smoking. You're not gonna be a covetous. You're not gonna be an adulterer. You ain't gonna be men. You're not gonna be a sodomite. Men lying with men, women lying with women. All right? Just to name a few. Okay?
I got something for you then.
Yep, got it, brother.
Is the book of Psalm, chapter 111, verse 10. It says, the fear of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praises endure forever. So that's where you can understand it from, precept upon precept, line upon line. How do you understand the concept of good and evil? Well, naturally, Jake has what's called a conscience. You know good from evil. You know you're not supposed to be doing something when you're supposed to do something. You can tell even on a child's face, man. They know they did something wrong. It's like with an animal, like a dog. They know when they do something wrong. They might not speak the same language, right? But they know they're not supposed to do certain things, man. So going to real understanding, which starts with the fear of the Lord, is all those that keep his commandments. All right? You can't say you're smart if you're still eating shrimp, ham, pork, lobster, man. You can't say you're wise if you're still calling on Allah, Buddha, JC, all these names under the sun, which are idol gods, man. It's all about those who keep the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Those are the ones who are going to be considered wise especially these last days, man.
Yeah, cause that lands back into Romans the 6th chapter, man. Cause the wages of sin is death, you know. Cause you mentioned keeping those commandments, all right, which is the law. I think it's the book of Psalms 119 says, "What through thy precepts I get understanding." You say you had something for us?
This is Proverbs chapter 15, verse 31. The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul. But he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. The fear of the Lord is instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility.
You go into instruction, you know, it's pretty much how you learn from being taught, man. You have to be taught something. You're being instructed, right? When you go into how, you know, you're supposed to operate a certain type of device or vehicle, you know, it comes with, you know, a manual, man. You know, when you're supposed to give an oil change, when you're supposed to change the tires out, change the brake pads, you know, a maintenance cycle. That's how they're keeping the words of Yahweh Shai, man. You know, and you have to be taught by someone. That's why the Lord raised up prophets in Babylon, man. I was going to say in Isaiah, thy eyes shall see thy teachers. But if you can't be taught, you're never going to learn, man. You got ears, but you don't listen, you're never going to learn nothing, man. You know, that's why it's going to talk about being slow to speak, swift to hear. All right, especially when it comes to the words of Yahweh Shai. We were dead, man. Imagine a dead man coming from zero, trying to teach you something, man. You're dead. You're not going to take advice from someone that died, that got blicky down, you know. He slept with somebody's woman, you going to get advice from him? No, man. You're going to get advice from someone that's been through, you know, the ways of Yahweh Shai been exercised, man. Speaking about posting those on down, man. You know?
I'm going to start at the top again. The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise. And, you know, the ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise. And what's life? Life is the scriptures, you know. Life is the law, statutes, and commandments. Life is the righteous acts. Life is fearing the Heavenly Father and His Son. Because what's the opposite of life? The opposite of life is death. And what's the wages of sin? Death.
I got something real quick, Baba Sean, you said that? This is Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, power formed man of the dust of the earth, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Going back to the word.
Yeah, go back to the word. The Lord breathed life into him, you know?
Yep, and go a little bit deeper. That life is ultimately Yahweh Shai, man. That's what it say in the law, man. That's what the blood, you know, is what the life is. But the paraphrases, so the blood of Yahweh Shai, man, that's our life. Because yeah, the law was good, but the fault was us, man. Our forefathers couldn't keep this, you know? So that's where the point of grace, you got to issue that too as well. We're not IUIC, we're not ICPK. You know, we don't tell you the laws that we rehearse it, but you're not going to be delivered by it, man. You know? Again, going to sound counsel, tried, you know, and refined, man. Not just, again, Johnny come later is telling you to keep 100% of the scriptures. There's none of our forefathers can do, man.
It's impossible. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul. But he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. And two-thirds of the nation of Israel refused an instruction, so therefore they despising their own souls. They hate, they anti-life. You know, they anti-themselves because you're refusing the law, statutes, and commandments, you're refusing the righteous acts, you're refusing the Lord, and you seeking death, and you pretty much hate yourself. Because one thing the nation of Israel, the elected nation of Israel has in them is they want to live, which is a natural instinct, you know, and we want to live. We don't want to be destroyed. So we seeking and doing the things that'll lead to eternal life and immortality. But two-thirds of the nation of Israel, they're not seeking eternal life. They're not seeking immortality. They're not seeking to live forever. We seeking to live forever. You know, we seeking to rule. You know, we seeking to sit on thrones.
if I made the scripture say, you know what I'm saying, all they that hate me love death. You know?
Yeah.
I got a quick one.
All right.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 3, in verse 11. Wisdom of Solomon 3, verse 11. It says, "For whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain, their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable." So yeah, you know, you go into, you know, the wisdom of this world. Yeah, you might get a nice job, you know, you have a nice car, you have a nice house, but when it comes to prophecy, when it comes to, you know, things that are happening, you know, around the four corners of the earth, you know, geopolitics, the technology being pushed, you have no idea what's coming to you, man. You know, what's the point of gathering all those riches and all these worldly possessions if you can't keep them, man? You got people that's over you saying you're gonna own nothing and be happy. What does that mean to you? That means the lifestyle you're chasing is nothing but an illusion, man. You're being occupied and distracted by BS, while the men of the Lord are taking this thing serious, man. Which starts with the fear of the Lord, man. Think about a baby saying, "No, I don't want to eat my vegetables. No, I don't want to drink the milk." But you're gonna be a skinny ass, demonic ass baby, man. You know, you're not gonna grow.
Nutrient deficient.
Nutrient deficient. You know, you're gonna be looking bugged out, and that's a sign of death, man. When someone's dying, they don't want to eat nothing. You know, it means they're dead, man. They're dying, man. You know, or they're really, really sick. You know what I'm saying? That's our people, 2/3, and that's Isaiah the 1st chapter. You know, they don't want to be healed. Imagine that. You crying, you sick, but you don't want to be healed. You know?
Wow, yeah, that's Jake, man.
That's our people.
That's Jake.
They'll complain all day. They'll sit you down. That's one of them goddamn. He's still talking,
Yep.
but he don't want a solution. He just want to keep complaining, man. That's our people.
Yeah, a week or two ago, I was outside of Walgreens one night, and I seen a lady with the hospital things still attached to her chest. She had a bottle of medication, and she was smoking a cigarette. I'm like, this shit don't make no sense. You sitting here outside of Walgreens, just picked up your medication, you still got the hospital things connected to your chest, and you got the bottle of medication in one hand, the cigarette in the other. I'm like, you destroying yourself. You know, some people you know you a diabetic, but you indulging in sugar and other things that could kill you. You know you got high blood pressure, and you on high blood pressure medication, but you eating pork chops and bacon and other abominable flesh, which cause you high blood pressure. You know, you got lung cancer, but you're sitting here smoking cigarettes, which was one thing that led you to get lung cancer. People in this society, like I always say this, people in this society is ass backwards, and IQ is just went the opposite way and going downhill. Because what's right is wrong, and what's wrong is right now. But I'm gonna read this last verse again. The fear, Proverbs 15:33. The fear of the Lord is instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. And you know we gotta go through humility first. You know you gotta crawl before you walk. You know you gotta be low before you be uplifted. You know you gotta be wounded before you be healed. You know it's like rites of passage. You know you gotta go through that fire. You gotta go through that purification. You know you gotta go through that humility. And Jake don't want, and 2/3 of Jake want to be proud in the state they in. You humble yourself. We in a low state. We in a low state right now. We at the bottom of the barrel. You know, on the worldly stage. You know, but you know but the elected the nation of Israel, Lord's willing be them. We rich in spirit. You know.
I don't know. It's Proverbs chapter 1. In verse 7, Proverbs 1 and 7, the fear of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
All right, it says the fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is the beginning of knowledge. What knowledge? All right, that's the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures. All right, y'all keep reading one more time.
Proverbs 1 verse 7, the fear of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Right, it says, but fools, all right? And who are the foolish, all right? 2/3 of the nation of Israel, all right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, according to the seed line of your father. It says, but fools despise, which means they hate wisdom and instruction, all right? You know, like brothers been going into the reproof, you know, what the prophets is telling our people, you know, which is the do's and don'ts according to the scriptures. But you know, we all know that, you know, that this word is only for the elect, you know. Only the elect is going to seek repentance, all right, and turn back into the ways of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
Anything else? I got something. Is Philippians chapter 2 and verse 12. Philippians 2 and 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Back to the brother's points, only the elect going to take you know, the warning seriously, because they fear Yahweh Bashem Shai. What's the point of a warning if you don't fear it? You know, don't go that way. It's a bad place to go. You're gonna get in trouble, man. You don't got fear. You're not gonna take heed to that. Same with Noah. I mean, Noah said the whole earth is about to be flooded with water. That's not scary enough for you. Right. You know, to get right with the Lord. Then what is, man? Here it is. And this time we're telling you that missiles gonna come, man. After the MOTB's made mandatory, and they make this chip mandatory, and you got to take it to participate in this world. And the consequences, you know, obviously the nukes, but you're gonna get a cancerous sore. It's gonna be torment, man. And the piece to a soul, you thought you was straight in them green zones. Wait a second, why are they looting? You know, hold on, why they got blue hats? You know, because America gonna get invaded some way or another, man. Either, you know, informal, which, you know, now warfare is different, man. They don't wear, I'm like, you know, the British, all red and shit. Hey, I'm with the cavalry. No, man, these motherfuckers come dressed up like normal motherfucking people, and they cause mayhem, man. They're called agents, man. Sleeper cells, right? But you got a chip though. You straight? Yeah, right, man. Same with that juicy juice. Are you okay? You know, ask niggas that took that vaccine. Are you good? You all right? You know, you look a little, you know, a little weak.
Yeah, the enemy be wearing the same shit you wearing.
That's it. It's covert operations, man. You know. But again, going to us working on our salvation with fear and trembling. You know, it's because why? Because again, we took heed to that warning, man. Simply put, we know these are the words of, you know, we know this is the words of Yahweh Bashem Shai. As the Lord said, my sheep hear my voice, and we said, all right, we're gonna get our shit together, man. There's no questions asked. It might take us some time. It might take us some time to get it together, you know, some quicker than others, but eventually you say, damn, I gotta get right, man. You know, while everybody else is partying, BSing. Again, go back to the days of Lot, days of Noah, man. You know?
And in the days of Noah, people never seen water fall from the sky. But we could look up and see the missiles. You know, we could search the ICBMs and hypersonic missiles. Right. We've been being told about them. We've heard and seen the destruction that those weapons cause. And which should be even more of a reason, you know, we believe it through the spirit, but the fact we could see it physically, what should be even more of a reason to say, oh shit, you know what? Them men might be on to something. Because we not speaking of something unheard of or unseen. We speaking of something that's known of mass destruction. Noah was warning about water falling from the sky.
I'm gonna bring this along. I'm still in this chapter. This is backing your point up. Genesis 2 and 5. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew, the Lord power had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. Verse 6, but there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. So, the dew.
Yeah, the dew. It was dew. So if Noah came on the scene, hey yo, water about to fall from the sky. Mm-hmm. They like, what is this dude talking about? Noah talking about water about to fall from the sky, y'all. We ain't never seen no shit like that. They laughing and clowning and mocking and scoffing and scorning him. You know, he building a boat. You know? But look, we know hypersonic and ICBM nuclear missiles exist. And we have the knowledge and information of the destruction that they could cause. And we were warned that lake of fire is going to come from those nuclear missiles, which should be, like I'm saying, a clear reason to believe even more, because we know it exists. But you know, people so ignorant and just stuck. They just think them weapons finna just collect dust and be put away.
I got something. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. It says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man."
Yep. It says fear the Most High. But this is the whole duty of man. All right, yeah, you know, cause this is our reasonable service, man. You know, this is our sole purpose. It's to fear the Lord. All right. Because if we fear the Lord, that means what? That we being obedient to the Lord. That means that we're submitting to the will of our power, man. You know. That means that we're not going to do nothing to bring the Lord's wrath, man. You know, His hot displeasure. All right.
I got a definition of duty: a moral or legal obligation, a responsibility, loyalty, obedience, faithfulness, respect, reverence. You know, people want to say, how do I, reverence the Lord? I just that and the third. Obedience. You know, your duty is to keep His ways. And I got one precept.
Yeah, if I may say, because we're talking about Noah building the ark. You know, he dedicated his whole life building that ark. 120 years of building a ginormous boat that was nowhere near the sea. For the average man during that time, it seemed to be worthless. Well, no, why didn't you build this next to the shore so we can actually conquer the world and do things like that? Go and see what's beyond this region of land.
Right, and Lord willing, we endure. We still have the faith that Noah had. Because you gotta look at it. It takes faith to believe what we're saying. The Lord gave an actual physical thing you can see. Look, this is what He's doing. And us out on the highways and byways should be a big sign for our people. But I got this real quick. Deuteronomy 20:12, and now Israel, huh? Okay. Deuteronomy 10:12, and now Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all His ways, and to love Him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and the statutes which I command thee this day for thy good.
It's just like the brother was beautifully going into, because the brother said a moral obligation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord is not like you always go to, bro. And the Lord is not asking you, man. The Lord is demanding that you do these things. Yep. All right. If you want to live, that's why the scripture goes and says, seek ye me and live. If you want to live, man, you're going to fear the Lord, which means you're going to be obedient. You're going to reverence the Lord. You're going to do the things that are required of you to do. All right. And how do you find that out? Within these scriptures, man, because this is that counsel, to show you, this is the guide.
Yeah, the first thing was fear. Yeah.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8. For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. For we are glad when we are weak, and ye are strong. And this also we wish, even your perfection. Therefore I write these things being absent, lest being present, I should use sharpness according to the power which the Lord hath given me to edification and not to destruction. And it says, for we can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. And we out here on these highways and the byways pushing this truth and sincerity for the truth and for the Heavenly Father and His Son. And it says, for we are glad when we are weak and ye are strong, and this also we wish even your perfection. And we wishing for the perfection. We wishing for salvation. And I'm gonna jump down to the point that says, according to the power which the Lord hath given me to edification and not to destruction. Because we out here to edify. We not out here for destruction. We out here for instruction.
And they edify means to build up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because these, you know what, these are the words of life. You know, so we speaking life into our people, man. You know, we showing them the ways to salvation. You got it, bro.
Is Proverbs 14 and verse 26. It says, "In the fear of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai is strong confidence, and his children have a place of refuge."
Right. It said the fear of the Lord is strong confidence, right? Because that word confidence goes into the word of fidelity, which means faith. All right. You know, because we believe in these prophecies, man. We believe that these things are going to be fulfilled. We believe that the MOTB is the sea that's written about in Revelations 13 and 16. All right, we believe that World War III is going to jump off. We believe in the famine. All right, we believe in all these things that are spoken of within these scriptures.
Yeah, the scriptures say what wisdom and knowledge should be a stability of thy times. Yeah, that's a strong confidence that we have. You know that this wisdom and knowledge is going to lead us and guide us, you know, through the perilous times to come.
But to back you up, because when the scriptures say in 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter, the wisdom of this world is foolish. If you live long enough, you realize that, look, this the wisdom that they're providing, look where it's gotten.
Yeah, mass layoffs.
You know?
AI taking their jobs. You know, them depending on this system that was set up to fail the whole time.
Yeah.
And you see, you might watch a video of like an altercation. I'm watching a video of this woman and this walked up to this couple. It was like a heated debate, heated argument, and this, you know, the woman basically like slapped the girl's back of the head, and the guy stand up, tried to push the girl and missed, and walked away like, you know, like, don't touch me, I'm scared, you know, like. So this world ain't really preparing for, you know, if they can't even handle a simple altercation like that, you know, wait until, you know, there's, you know, people with swords in their hands going up to and fro in the streets. You know?
I had a coworker tell me one time, it was like, man, the way the world's going, just take me. I don't want to live in this. Just take me. I was like,
yeah, other family member telling me, I don't know if I want to have any kids here.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we need a safe house. You know, and start storing up goods and have a place where we all meet.
Yeah. I mean, there's some benefits to that, you know, but that ain't the end all be it all. That ain't what you trust in.
Yeah, you see what happened in what was that movie with the apparitions? Damn, I believe it was. It's been a while since we've seen it, but I can't really describe it. It had that one woman actress. It's kind of like, oh man, I can't remember.
Is it an older movie or?
It was a newer movie. It was like came out during the, like in COVID. Like whenever they would see it, they would take basically. Whenever you would see the trouble, whenever you look at it, you'll be possessed.
Smile.
Oh,
Was it Smile?
Nah. I know exactly what you're talking about. They had to cover their eyes, right?
They had to cover their eyes. It was like the noise or something. It was like whenever they would hear the noise, they'll start hearing spirits to tell them to bug out.
Yeah.
And they had like,
you talking about was it something bird?
Yeah, Soundbird.
Yeah,
Soundbird. That's all happened in Soundbird.
Bird Box.
Bird Box.
That's
Bird
it.
Box.
Yeah, Bird Box.
That's it.
They were going house to house searching, you know, for goods. You know, so eventually they're gonna go house to house like the scriptures tell us. You know, you got something to say?
And people really go see monstrous apparitions in the near future. You know, because that's a part of prophecy. People seeing monstrous apparitions.
The brother put in the group chat last week. Remember? It's not real. It's not real. Did you get that video?
Are you talking about the guy who was driving down the road?
Yeah.
And he was like, "That's not human."
Yeah.
It's
Not
I seen
human.
that.
Yeah.
He said that's not human.
Yeah, and then they jumped on the back of the truck.
Yeah.
But there's so much like skits on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, of course. But I mean, look. Go ahead, guys.
But I mean, it's really some shit out there in them trees. You know, in them woods.
Yeah, like Jeepers Creepers.
Cause that's what I thought about when they was describing it.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
Yeah.
you gotta think, there's been stories passed down for generations about creatures.
Yeah.
And you know, and not to mention, we know that there's creatures and animals still out there that people probably haven't seen for generations. You know, that we probably that the people probably chased out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and rumors talk about that, about seeing things like that.
Yeah, because you know what do man do? Man sees some shit and we go kill it. You know, you gotta think, when the last time we seen a wolf? America used to be full of wolves at a point in time.
They still here though.
But they still here. They still here, but do you see them?
Right.
No. They said jaguars and mountain lions and shit like that was here in America. Do you see those often? No. But they there. You know? Bears and all other types of animals and creatures out there.
Oh yeah.
We had some, if not, you step it down.
I was edified. How about Shema Shopper Akadon? Shalom.
Just read.
I got some. Do you want to have something to bring up, man? This is Jeremiah 15 and 3, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. So the Lord is setting up, you know, these different type of plagues and calamities, you know, to come forth in the earth. You know, the sword. You know, for you to take the sword against your fellow neighbor, you know, someone you go to work with, someone who you pay taxes with, your fellow citizens, you know, there must be something dire in the land. You know, because back in the ancient times, people would come together and fight against an opposing army. But the government has played psychological warfare to tell you that your neighbor is your enemy. You know, the guy, you know, I saw a meme where it was like a guy, he had a plate of cookies, and it was an Edomite and a Jake. You know, it said that it was an Edomite with some cookies on his plate.
I see.
And he had an Edomite and a Jake. The Edomite had 1 cookie, and the guy with all the cookies said, "Hey, you know he's trying to take your cookie." And it was like a flash scene. It was like a flash forward scene. This nigga had a bunch of cookies on his plate now, like he was stacked up. The dude had 1 cookie, so he said, "Hey, you know that guy is trying to take your cookie."
Right.
You know, showing you that, you know, the government is really after you, right? And it's the will of the Lord, you know, as the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, and as the rivers of water, he turneth it wheresoever he will. Esau is just the whipping stick of the Heavenly Father, right? You're going to see him come down. You're also going to see these spirits on these animals get roused up. You know, and once these animals get roused up, that's going to be the end-all, be-all, you know, for America, because that's going to be a different time. Right now, the Lord got animals kind of chill, and during the C-19, when people weren't out here, you saw, you know, animals starting to come out to the cities.
Yeah.
You know, because it was safe. Because these cars, you know, they're if animals can't come out here with all these mass production of cars out here, they'll get slaughtered.
Yeah, and it's about for the animals coming out. It was 2020. Yeah, it was 2020 when the world was on lockdown. I lived in a ghetto, and I came outside one morning and I seen a big ass turkey just walking down the street. And I lived in the ghetto, and I never seen a turkey in person. And that day in the streets until that day, and I was like, what the, like, I'm looking around like, is this? I even recorded it. Like, yo, is this a motherfucking turkey I'm seeing just strolling down the street? A big ass wild turkey.
Well, I Am Legend showed you that. You know?
Yeah, with the deer and the lion.
The city shut down. Yeah.
Yeah, so you know when it get quiet and stuff ain't moving, I usually move, animals don't start coming out their habitat, coming out of the woodworks. I got a precept with the brother at this.
Just a quick side note, real quick, before you read that. I don't know if brothers heard about it, but a couple of monkeys, I think, got loose from the zoo in Asheboro, and there was some people don't, leave alone. I'm trying to capture.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And they might have been experimented on with like some kind of virus or disease or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they got a polar bear up there.
Yeah.
Polar bears, they hunt anything. So,
Especially, they say humans too. Yeah.
So they're gonna be able to get out. Really, they have to do something to those animals to keep them tamed like that. They put, they got certain medicines that they put in the food. Oh, this is for the animals good, but it makes them drowsy because they're not supposed to take human medicine. So they really don't know what it does to them. It's, it's weakening them.
All the animals look docile, man.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the zoo, them animals will be wild. They're wild animals for a reason, man.
Yeah.
Not meant to be domesticated.
Exactly.
Not meant to be pets in this time anyway. But this is Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 21. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, how much more when I send my four-sword judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword, and the famine, and the noisome beast.
Yeah, so in Jerusalem, the modern day Jerusalem, is a people for us a place. This is Jerusalem. You're witnessing, right, Jerusalem being raised up, but majority of our people, they reject their heritage, and therefore the Most High is going to send a great wrath, a time of Jacob's trouble upon them, right? He's going to send a sword. So he's going to send the troops against you. Seeing that happening in D.C., and it will happen in Chicago, cities like New York, and they know where Jake is. Jake is heavily, that's why, really, Jake is heavily concentrated in some of these major cities. Memphis.
They're not sending them out there to the suburbs.
No, they know exactly where Jake is. Where, it's a line. It's all set up.
Yeah, your mama's on Section 8. We know where you live at, nigga.
Yeah. They know this area of the city where Jake is. MLK. That's all. Even people in the world can tell you MLK is where all. If you go to any city in America, go to MLK. Shoot, in Memphis, they got Elvis Presley Boulevard. That's the worst street in Memphis. Potholes everywhere. It's a whole. And, they must have known he was a Jake.
Right.
They just let that place get run down. But Jake is heavily concentrated in these areas.
You guys fucking bird again. Man. It's on top of that railing up there. That black railing. And that bird is huge, bro.
Yep.
Up, say, up.
Terrible sense of direction.
And the pestilence to cut off from it man and beast.
Yeah, different pestilence. And there's going to be a major, can you brother get Ezekiel 7:14? There's going to be a major pestilence here in the city whenever there's carcasses laid down. When there's bodies that are just in the street, when they're going to start to rot and decay, nobody is going to pick them up. So that's going to cause, different pestilence even in that sense in the city.
Yeah.
Just from garbage not being picked up, because the garbage man and the garbage trucks ain't gonna be coming around to take the dumpsters or the garbage.
You remember what happened? It was happening in Philly.
Yeah, Philly.
A month ago.
And that was a short period of time. And rats.
Yo.
Filth,
like trash.
stitch.
Well, you see what happens in Los Angeles, California, in the Bay Area. I believe that's what, Southern California, the Bay? Or is that Northern California?
Not sure.
But you see what happens in the Bay. They have you have people that literally crap all over the sidewalks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Literally when you go outside, everywhere.
Yeah.
And I've seen it in New York City. And what do you think is gonna happen? Because they have a sanitation crew come and clean everything up.
Oh, hey, look, that falls upon the government shutdown. Have they resolved that yet? Because they're talking about October 1st. Yo, the left and the right don't come together,
Yeah, they want to do, they're trying to get, Trump is trying, he's trying to do something, but he's trying to do mass layoffs.
That's what comes with it.
Yeah, you know, and then they
They
have an agenda.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's not like
yeah.
it's a plan.
Yeah.
It's not just gonna shut down and you know.
Well, they have.
It ain't just go. Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing when things not just happening overnight. We warning you and telling you it's gradualism. It's little by little, steps by steps, and they letting us know through the spirit and what's going on. They letting us know what's getting ready to happen, and because it's warning signs, it's birth pains. Just like with this digital ID that just became mandatory over in the UK. They not just gonna come kick the door and, hey nigga, the chip made mandatory now. No, it's gonna be steps. All right, you gotta. Hey, if you want to comply, you want to get a job here, you need a digital ID. You want to get a driver's license here, you need a digital ID. You want to get insurance or child care, you're gonna need a digital ID. This is the system, and this is a simple system. And if you can't comply, you don't want to comply. You don't want to be a functioning member in the society, and then this is gonna lead up and get to the chip.
Read that, bro.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, and verse 14. It says, "They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none go to the battle."
Yeah, this is a spiritual battle, and we're blowing the trumpet to get you, you know, to rouse up your mind, to let you know, hey, do you realize what time we're in? You know, 'cause we're not in the time of peace and safety. They show you during the C-19, people were for making comments on the internet. We're getting thrown into jail. You know, for miscommunication, misinformation. You know, since this information that you put out is harming. You know, and it's a threat, and therefore here goes a fine, or you know, we gotta take you in. You know, it was happening. You had people being quarantined. You know, they had quarantine camps, you know, during that time. You know, where people were, they built makeshift houses
Right.
and say, hey, this is your quarantine camp, you know, social distancing, right? And they seen how far they can take it. And people didn't rouse up, people didn't stand up for their neighbor. They were in fear, say, oh no, don't just stay away from me.
Yep.
You know, sorry, Sally.
Yep.
You know?
These motherfuckers washing their dishes like their groceries when they got home.
Mhm.
Remember
I saw a video of it in Dub when she was cooking her ground beef.
that?
She put Dawn dish soap and washed it.
Yeah. I got something real quick.
Yeah.
This Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven.
Yeah, everything, there's a season. There's a seasonality. You know, and you know, since Trump came into office, you know, we're in that, you can feel it in the air, we're in that spirit of Operation Warp Speed all over again.
Yep.
You know, like, you know, a psyop could come, you know, and shut the world down again. You know, and you've seen, you know, with this Kurt thing, you know, a lot of psychological warfare is going on.
Yep.
We don't really know how much is really real, what's real, what's not, but we know what comes after their agenda, order out of chaos. This digital ID, you know, in the UK, it's because what they're saying, because the migrants, you know, because they literally said it. It's not us. It's the law-abiding citizens that want some type of law and order. Well, this is our solution. You know, if you don't got nothing to hide, come get your card, you know, your worker's card.
Right. Oh, sorry, one more.
Yeah, because basically here you have the birth certificate.
Yeah.
No, the social security card.
Yeah, both.
Yeah. But when you go to work, what do you have to do? You have to bring your social security card and your ID.
Yep.
So they already have that here in America.
Yep.
You know what I mean? To be 100%, they already have that. It's just, you know, smaller businesses are allowing illegals to work under them, you know, and get paid under the table and things like that.
Yep.
You got it.
Ecclesiastes 3:8, the point, it says a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace.
Yeah, we're coming to a time of war, a time of, you know, hate. You know, and you're seeing that love of many waxing cold. You know, everyone is in that spirit.
Can I get something? You just said that.
Mm-hmm.
Just came across. It says dad allegedly threw daughter into alligator-infested river because he didn't want her.
He didn't want her. You know, probably a spitting image of his mother, of her mother.
And that's crazy because I've been seeing more and more stories similar to that of people unaliving and deleting their children and their babies.
When she drowned her kids, that chick. Yeah.
Like you got people drowning their kids, people running their kids over, people throwing their kid out the car, mothers abandoning their babies because they want to go live their best ratchet life.
Hey, look, now how much like the video like last week, I was doing a video on this guy that had the dream. Women was leaving their kids for a man. How much more in these times, like we're coming into? That's gonna happen, man.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. Hey, sweetie. You know, don't leave this room. It's dangerous outside. And then she leave the whole house.
The whole house. If they're leaving for vacations now to get up with a dude, how much more will all hell break loose?
Yeah, right. Hey, some time back, I think it was either earlier this year or last year, a woman left her baby in the crib and went to like Puerto Rico or some shit like that. You remember that? For weeks and came back, the baby then starved to death and dehydrated and covered in feces and etc. She cleaned the baby up and took the baby to the hospital like she ain't know what was wrong. You just left the baby for dead while you went on vacation for weeks. Like what? That's horrible. You know?
At least report that nigga missing.
Right. But the people doing this to their own, your children is an extension of you, so you basically doing that to yourself. When you do that to your baby, if you doing that to your baby, you really don't give a fuck about nobody. Straight up.
I got another article. It says son arrested. Elderly mother dies after discovery of maggot-infested home in Florida.
See?
So he left his elderly mom home and maggots ended up eating her body.
See? Left his mom unattended, needed help, she died, maggots start eating the body.
Yeah, she probably had trash everywhere in that goddamn home.
Probably had sores too.
Yeah, sores, because from sitting.
Yeah.
I seen another story, I think it was an Edomite woman. They left this woman on the couch so long, she like they said she melted. She melted into the couch from the sores and not being able to move or take care of herself. People was doing this to their loved ones. So when the time of Jacob's trouble come and shit and the pressure really get applied and people ain't eating, it's gonna be real cutthroat. People gonna be saying F they kids, F they mama.
You like your daddy anyway, I can't stand you.
Yeah, F everybody. You know, it's all gonna be for self in that time. You know, but through the spirit, you know, Lord's willing we are the elect, we gonna be taken care of, we gonna be fed, we gonna eat, we gonna drink, and us and our families is gonna be protected.
Yeah, read it again.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 14. They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof.
Good. And we're warning you about all these things before they spring forth. We tell you of them. You know, we've been telling you about in Ezekiel 12 and 21. We've been telling you about, you know, this plan of full world dominance. You know, we've been telling you about the plan to bring the sword. You know, that Esau Edom has, you know, to get full control of the planet Earth. Right? And we're telling you the digital ID over there in the UK, over there in live in London, is really only just one step closer. You know, it's just one step closer of normalizing this thing.
Right.
You know, now with the Genius, remember what happened earlier, the Genius Act this year, you had the Genius Act with pagan, where companies are now allowed to create stable coins, digital currency backed up by the U.S. dollar, and that's the way the U.S. debt the U.S. can offload their debt, by to these other countries without having them to buy these treasury bonds, Go back to Ezekiel 7:15.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 15. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him.
Hey, can brother get second Ezra? I think it's 16 and like 18, 19.
How does it go?
He that's escaped the hunger, the sword shall destroy. Read that again,
Yep. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 15. It says, the sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within.
Yeah, the sword is without, and the famine and pestilence within. All right, go ahead.
Yep. It says, he that is in the field shall die with the sword.
Yeah, he that's in the field shall die by the sword. In these more royal areas, people in the royal areas are going to go crazy, stealing resources, because they don't have an immediate immediate grocery store next to them, right? So they're going to go to their local farmers and steal all their goods. They're going to go to the Sally who got, a year's worth of canned goods, up the street. And they're going to take their goods with the sword, right? Go ahead.
It says, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him.
Yeah, and here in the city, resources are going to be very scarce. There's too many mouths to feed.
Quick too.
Yeah, it's going to happen very quick. After a hurricane, they show you how quick, everything in the store is basically done. And the truckers know the storm is, they know for, at least a week that storms are coming, so they know what they need to do. I think it was during the C19, I used to work next to a Costco's, and they clocked they said 6,000 people came in the store within the first hour. And that's a small population of the people. There's millions of people in the, but only 6,000 people made it in. Within the first hour, and they had an orderly fashion, get in the line. They had to wait, but wait until everybody's just bombarding them stores. They're going to destroy most of the resources, and that's why you're going to have a lot of these, these rednecks, these militia groups. They're going to just take over the Walmarts. They're just going to post up outside and say, y'all can't come in here. Right. That's the first places they're going to go. Right? And different pestilence we spoke about, when these bodies are out here, feces everywhere, garbage,
And it won't take long. Let a month go by without nobody picking up the garbage. It'd be crazy out here. It'd be filthy.
Yeah, you see what happened in these BLM riots. A whole grocery store destroyed overnight. And these niggas gotta go buy groceries in the morning and go back to work.
That's why, I'm starting to think now those people don't live in these areas. When they have those, they're destroying their own neighborhoods. They gotta be people who rent people to do stuff like that.
Yeah, they hire.
Yeah.
These bricks.
Yeah. Cause Jake's stupid, but damn, Jake, you that stupid?
Yeah, Jake just take all, Jake after shoes. Jake ain't at the grocery store.
Hey, in Buffalo, I seen stores that still closed down from when people was tearing shit up. Family Dollars, Jake like to go for the little bullshit petty stores.
Come on, like grocery store shooting?
Yeah, grocery stores. Yeah.
Right,
but that Tops is actually open though. They open that back up.
Yeah.
But the stores that Jake tore up when they was rioting and protesting and stuff, a lot of them stores are still shut down. So and it was in so-called black communities. So now instead of just walking around the corner to the store, now you gotta travel a little bit further to go purchase something that was right around the corner in your area. Jake tearing up the grocery stores, and like you said, you tearing something up tonight, but you got to go shopping in the morning. You ain't thinking.
Go ahead, bro.
This is the book of Ezekiel 7 and verse 16. It says,
Read verse 15 again.
God, yep, this is the book of Ezekiel 7 and verse 15.
Then we'll get that second Ezra 16.
The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him.
That's right. So that's what we are. That's what we're out here prophesying about, right? Get a second Ezra,
18, right?
verse 22.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and 22, and it reads, "For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine."
Yeah, many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. When these trucks stop, and right now we're basically living. We're in a recession right now. Then we're going into, if it wasn't because the AI boom, you know, if it wasn't, this feels like a 2008, you know, housing.
Yep.
You know, because we were alive during 2008, right? Gas prices were all-time high.
Yep.
Groceries were high. You were able to get by, but you weren't able to do anything extra, right? And we're basically living in that time all over again. Inflation's at an all-time high. Then, you know, yeah, it comes in as expected, but it's still at a new all-time high, right? They can't get inflation under control. Right, it's out of control, really, and they don't want to get it under control, right? They want to keep, you know, squeezing the people, because if you add deflation, that means the rich will lose a lot of their riches and lose them very fast, and that'll bring the price of everything down. But they want inflation, to where only you got the haves and the have-nots. You know, that's the world we're coming into. Revelation 13 and 16 calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bonds. Right? So that rich and poor dynamic, you know, the middle class being wiped out. Because the middle class can keep a city going. You know, you had enough businesses going on. You had them sourcing their own local food. Right? They can keep a city going. You don't need the government to bring in, you know, meat from a different country. No, that's just the deals they have going on. But read again, huh?
2nd Ezra 16 and 22. "For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy."
And the others that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. The sword is going to destroy the others that escape the hunger. So if you're prepping, or if someone knows that you got some type of resources, and right now they got the rich, you know, they're buying water. They got warehouses, and there's barrels of water going to these warehouses, because they're trying to get, they know what the water is going to be the new gold in that time. You know, and if you don't know someone, you know, you're going to be asked out. You see, during these purge movies, you have people who hire security in those movies. They hire professional gunsmen, you know, to protect them. You know, you seen it. And that's the thing. If you got $1 billion, you can hire a small military. You know, that's not a problem. A little small malicious group to protect you and what you got. You know?
Which ultimately the man of the Lord. Isaiah 32 comes to mind. You know?
Oh yeah, the hedge.
Yeah, from the wind.
Yeah, we can get that. Isaiah 32.
I had something too.
Yeah, bring it out. Yeah.
This is 2 Kings. I'm gonna get straight to the point, because this is part of a famine, right? And this is going to befall our people again. Now, Scripture says there's no new thing upon the sun. It says, 2 Kings 6 and 24. And it came to pass after this that Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, gathered all his hosts and went up and besieged Samaria And there was a great famine in Samaria. And behold, they besieged it until the ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of the calf's dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. And as the king of Israel was passing upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my lord, O king.
Yeah, so you had that was basically hyperinflation.
Right.
You know, basically your buying power is shot. In the sense of you're over here buying an ass's dung. You know, you're buying things that you would have never thought that your money would buy. You would buy.
Right.
There was a heavy famine going in the land, so people are bartering. You know, I got this. You know, you want to eat.
Yep.
And you're gonna have people eating possums and
Yep.
all types of unclean animals in that time to survive. So people are gonna survive for a little bit.
They eating that shit now.
Oh yeah.
Jake eating possums and raccoons and squirrels. They eating that now.
Yeah.
They eating all types of madness now. And the grocery store is still open.
Yeah.
So imagine when it ain't no grocery store, that's gonna be nothing. They ain't gonna be no dogs, ain't gonna be no cats. The squirrels and the raccoons and the possums and the skunks, they eating all of that. And that's gonna go quick. And then once those animals peep game and realize they on the menu and they get missing and run into hiding, humans is next. Cause it ain't gonna take long. I forgot the study, but exactly how long, but the study said it won't take long before people resort to cannibalism.
Oh, yeah.
It won't take long at all.
You don't know what's in this food nowadays.
Exactly.
That cheap ass ground beef with the lines in the middle of it.
Right.
You know, like you don't know what that is. That's every part of the animal, the liver, the everything. The pink mush. You know what I mean? You know, this food they eat now is disgusting.
We haven't ate.
Yeah, you haven't eaten real food. We've never seen a real apple.
No.
All this food is genetically modified. So your bodies are already starving of nutrients. You know, you have people who are, you have an epidemic going on in the States where people are malnutritious, but yet they're full. I forgot what they call it, the eating starving.
Yeah. And once again, we can think a devil like this, because he kicked it off. You know what I'm saying? This devil kicked it off, man.
You look like a zombie.
You like a devil, yeah. You like a vampire, yo.
Who's that again?
It's Rockefeller, J.D. Rockefeller.
Oh yeah.
Try it out.
Yeah, like you just finished getting on somebody's neck.
Yeah, so they're gonna be crying now, just like that woman was crying for the king to help. They're gonna be crying for the government to help them.
Yep.
You know, keep it on that.
Yeah, it says 2 Kings 6 and
27.
27. And he said, if the Lord, Yahweh Shai, do not help thee, whence shall I help thee?
Yeah, so the Lord is not on your side. What are you really gonna do in these times?
Right.
Because your enemy is gonna be feeding you with slop. You're talking about the same enemy that said you should eat sawdust. So you can actually eat. We can actually create a meal with 40% sawdust to solve world hunger.
Hey, the Subway rolls. Remember the Subway bread was made with cardboard?
Yeah, and rubber,
Yeah.
Cardboard and rubber.
Oh, fuck.
Yep, and they justify it. Well, you know, it's only $5. You know, it's affordable for the poor.
Oh, boy. But they not eating.
They're not eating that. Yeah, Dr. Oz, he said he's not having his kids take the C19. You know, these different vaccinations. And I wonder what their agenda is, because now they're saying Tylenol,
Damn, Jake.
you know, causes,
Yeah.
they're saying Tylenol causes, you know,
Yeah.
defects,
Yeah.
birth defects. You know, yeah, that's like, you know, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it gotta be regulated. AI is bad, but as long as Elon got control of it, he's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
It says, out of the barn floor or out of the wine press? And the king said unto her, what aileth thee?
Yeah, see, the wine, you had a wine, you know, you got a winery.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down and
Yeah, I'm gonna go down and get you a bottle. We got all types of wine stored underground. You know, we got a bunch of food stored up. Nah, they didn't have
meats hanging up.
Yeah, they didn't have any of that. They didn't have any of that because it was a famine.
Exactly.
So you ain't gonna be able to go to your local governor for help. They're gonna have guys like Trump. I'm sorry, Bill Gates, the gates of hell.
Right.
You know that. Why do you think he has all this farmland? Problem, action, solution. You have this company called, I believe it's called Aurora, where they have these autonomous trucks coming in. You know, oh, don't worry, we're gonna send a government agent, you know, with these trucks and, you know, mass roll out these food to help out the poor.
And you know, trying to speak with Cole, but look what's happening over there with Ishmael, where they're delivering the food. And yeah, you know.
Yeah, I saw this. You know, they had you had that one movie. It was based off the C-19. It was Contagious. Yeah, it's called Contagious.
Okay.
Remember they had shut down everything?
Oh, yeah.
And they were giving out the rations.
Yeah.
And it was like after like the third person, people raided the truck like, hey, hand us our food.
Yeah.
They were like, we're just gonna rob this truck. They went to go rob the truck and there was no food up there.
Right. And look, and that comes to Bond Scales 15 where it says they're not going to regard their kings or princes in the course of action shall stand in their power. You know?
And people lack patience now. People be in a McDonald's line or chicken Popeyes line and fuck around and shoot somebody.
Well, you had that happen. That was the literal thing. The Popeyes chicken.
Yeah.
Popeyes chicken. You ate that, you was going off.
Yo.
I was gonna say, if you tried that burger,
I ain't never eat that shit.
I ain't gonna hold you. I had a chicken sandwich. I'm guilty. But I didn't go during that time though.
Yeah.
But
that Lord still got you with us.
Right.
Everybody was telling me how they was getting sick from eating that.
Yeah.
Like after the first time, they was like, man, this thing's good. But when they went back a second time to eat it, they were sick. It sold out, and there was a whole skit on it. People were fighting, rioting over it.
Getting stabbed up. One dude ran into the store with his car.
Oh yeah.
You see, like and that's why it's a grocery store open down the street. Arby's and McDonald's right next door to that spot. So they surrounded by food, but yet they killing and acting like that due to impatience.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You have different like classes of food. You ever go to a restaurant, a store that'll get food, and niggas in the kitchen, the food is bad quality. You know, it's just true.
Or you go to a high-end restaurant and some high grade and a little piece of high grade meat costs a lot. So yeah, you go to a high end restaurant where they say the food is quality and fresh and organic. It costs a lot more. You know that cut of meat, because that meat sometimes the meat that they serve in some of them restaurants, some of them rich restaurants, it ain't the same meat you get from your Tops or your Walmart or your Aldi's or whatever store you go to.
No, it's a little better quality. You know?
And they tax you for it too.
Yeah, but all that, you know, is gonna be done away with. You know? Any more on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Finish it out. It says, and the king said to her, verse 28, 2 Kings 6 and 28, and said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she hid her son. And it came to pass, when the king heard the words of the woman, that he rent his clothes, and he passed upon the wall, and the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so, you know, cannibalism, it happened then, and it's gonna happen now. That's system's gonna come back.
Right.
Because it happened then.
Yep.
You know? And if you don't got Yahweh by Shema Shai on your side, you're gonna be through out here. You know, because they think they're in a good case because they can go out to eat to the restaurant after work. You know, they can go any restaurant and eat.
Yep.
You know, they might have, you know, we got family members that got some money.
Yeah.
And they still living their best life, and they're not there.
Yeah.
They don't see what's really going on. Just because money's coming, it's distracting them.
And a lot of it is women, man. Yeah, women like, I can't afford groceries. What? It's just you. You can't afford groceries?
No, literally.
What the hell's going on in your brain? You know?
Mm-hmm.
A mouse chasing cheese on a freaking wheel? What's going on up there?
TikTok shops.
Yeah.
You know? They be having a bunch of shit. I be on there, I be like, yo, a bunch of, I send a post to brothers, like, bunch of, another thing you use for a week and never use again.
Never use again.
Yeah, man, that is a board where people stand on there to help them lose weight.
Yeah.
It was shake.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, they don't go on the goddamn walk.
Right.
And you got women, oh, it's working.
Yeah.
It's working. I was like, man, you need a diet. You need to change your diet. You need to go on the juice cleanse. You need to go walking every single day.
Yeah. Nah, people just that lazy. They try to find,
Like the biohacking. You know, they try to find a hack.
yeah, they try to find the hack.
You got something?
Yeah, I got that Tobit 4 and 13.
Bring it out then, bro.
Yep. It's the book of Tobit, chapter 4, and verse 13. It
There we
says,
go.
Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, and not taking a wife of them. For in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay and great want.
When they want my booty stuff, bro, they don't mess around and kick it.
For lewdness is the mother of famine.
Yeah, you want to speak on it, bro?
Yeah, nah, you just cause you know, like brothers been going into the famines of food, which a famine goes into a lack of something, you know, a lack of resource. But the brothers beautifully going into, all right, cause it's gonna be a lack of food soon, you know. These storehouses gonna be empty, and what these people gonna resort to, all right, cannibalism, you know. People gonna resort to eating each other, you know.
What was that second? That was the 6th chapter. Certainly show the stone places.
22, verse 22.
Yeah, I got a definition of lewdness. It says the quality or state of being characterized by or intended to excess crude sexual desire. It says a scarcity. It says it's basically wickedness. So a large amount of wickedness, right? It says lewdness is the mother of famine, right? So you know, after these, you know, this way of life, it gives birth to a famine.
Yep.
You know, it gives birth to the Heavenly Father bringing plagues, you know, upon, you know, a society.
Hey, you said what sexual
Immorality.
sexual immorality and based extreme sexual desire. This society we live in is this a sexual.
It's sex driven.
Yeah, it's sex driven.
Yeah, sex sells.
Yeah, sex sells, and guess what? It's a pestilence with that.
Oh yeah.
Virus and disease is at an all-time high from sex.
What they call it? Oh yeah.
STIs,
Yeah.
STDs,
Yeah.
HIV.
But that's being normalized. Because they say, oh, I just go get a pill, get a shot.
Oh, you got hymns.
Oh, I got some penicillin.
Yeah.
I believe Hims and Hers has a pill for that.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like now it's being normal. You got people out here with HIV and all types of viruses and diseases out here still in the dating pool, like they not carrying some deadly shit.
Hey, Dave Chappelle did a skit on that one time. He was like, because he was the president, and he was like, it was a press conference, like the end of the world, and so yeah, we got the cure for, you know, for H, you know, and he threw the bottle at the dude and say, "Have a fun night." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know, it's like these pests are out here, and Drake ain't got no shame.
Yeah. You know.
And it's being normalized. It's
Exactly.
like it's man, this world is, man, it's crazy out here, bro.
Yeah, you gotta be careful out here. You know, you remember what happened with the C-19? You was attracting it if you had sex with a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they had the potion injection, what they call it, shedding. I think it was shedding or something like that. If you laid with somebody shortly after they got it,
you can get it.
Yeah, it was man, it's a lot of weird shit going on, man.
Yeah. But get that Ezekiel 12.
This is Ezekiel chapter 12, verse 21. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged and every vision faileth?
And that's the mindset our people are in. You know, that's why you got Antoine Daniels. That's that nigga's name?
Anton Daniels.
Yeah, Anton. You know, the nigga with the big ass glasses that if he's in Atlanta in the wrong part of the city at the wrong part of the time, he might get hit on. You know? Which guys like this, Jake got a little bit of money. You know, and they all puffed up and proud, out of shape. Like, you know, give a brother that money.
Right.
You know, it's still gonna be a test because this money has spirits on it. You know, and everything that money can buy you in this society is a temptation. You know, because people who are depraved, that's why kings are not born. They're made. Kings are made. We're coming into a kingship. We're coming into what it means to have resources, right? And Jake is still talking junk while you got the men, the Lord, and the believers of Yahweh Shema Shai striving to enter in at the straight gate. You know, the path of difficulty, and that's the path that's going to lead to the kingdom of heaven. And people don't want to believe it. They want to believe that our works is for naught. But what about the rapture that just happened?
Right.
Nobody said the rapture came, but I got left behind.
Where you at, vocab? Where you at?
You know?
We need answers.
Yeah, maybe how you know the rapture didn't come?
Right.
Your ass just got left. You know, you ain't that important.
Right.
You know? God damn, nobody said that.
Right.
Everybody just said, hey, it ain't happened.
Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe you ain't right.
Yeah.
Maybe we just got left.
Maybe you got
Shit.
left.
Yeah. I mean, maybe only a couple, you know?
Right.
Like, damn. Everybody that proud, they that sure that they was gonna get delivered, selling their cars. You know? Yeah, that's a big joke. And you think like that's how you know idiocracy is everywhere. And that's all a skit about that movie Idiocracy.
I watched that recently. I watched that movie recently.
Yeah, watch the movie. And they were talking about how they wanted to pick a low budget shoe in that movie, the Crocs.
Right.
So they picked the shoe because the director thought like these shoes would never be normalized. Crocs? Why would anyone wear a Croc?
Right.
But Crocs,
Skyrocket.
they skyrocketed. They everywhere.
Yep.
You know? So that shows you that people are really on that low mental level.
Yeah.
I mean, look at these people when, you know, you start to feel bad for them, but then you see how wicked they still are and how they justify their wickedness, and you just want to kick them off the mountain.
Yeah, they just justify through emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's how he saw it. That's like the scripture says, Sirach 10. As the king is, it's all the people, if you paraphrase it.
Yeah.
The rule of a city.
Hey, and speaking of idiocracy, everybody was drinking
The energy drink?
it was like an energy drink or some kind of something gay, like a Gatorade or Powerade or whatever. They was watering the plants with it. Wasn't nobody drinking water. Wasn't nobody using water except for the toilet. And look at now. Now they say, oh, you gotta drink electrolytes. You need Powerade. You need Gatorade. You can't just drink just water.
Yeah, body armors.
You know, you need body armors. You know, and shit, that's one of the things that was in the movie. Everybody started moving away from water and start going towards electrolytes.
Yeah, you had the Hulk Hogan at the beginning of the Trump's inauguration time when he was trying to be elected. Remember he did the campaign. The Hulk Hogan did the campaign. That was basically the president idiocracy. You know, so the decay of this society is here. The Babylon the Great.
Yep.
You know, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let every man go into his own country.
Yep.
You know, so this place is done. Keep reading that.
Verse 22. Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged and every vision faileth? Tell them therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb of Israel.
That's right. You have the Genius Act. You know, you have the Gideon Project. Right, and now in the UK you have this digital ID, and even here in America, you know, brothers can look it up on their phones. There's certain states that allow a digital ID. Apple, you know, has it to where you can upload your ID, you know, and your passport on your phone.
I think North Carolina shooting for a digital ID too.
Oh, goddamn.
No, the real ID.
Yeah, well, the real ID, that's so you can travel and to get into government facilities.
Yeah.
But really, they have literally a digital ID, just like you got the Apple Wallet and Google Wallet. That's how you can do it with your ID now. You no longer have to keep it, because really, people are so dumb that they lose things very easily, but they never lose their phone. I saw this one woman, she flipped her car over. I think she was drunk. She was like, I need my phone. I need my phone. I need my phone. Your car is flipped over. She was trying to get into her car with the phone, you know? She saw it on the window.
Yeah, because that's their life. You want to know somebody? Take their phone. Go through their phone.
Exactly.
You know?
Shit, man. People can't live without their phone.
Yeah.
They check it every 10 minutes.
Yep. I can't wait till we get rid of that shit.
You know?
I can't wait. I can't wait.
When I was leaving my phone in the car for a period. Now when I get home, I just turn it off.
Yeah.
You know, get home from work, turn the phone off.
And these teenagers, the younger generation is even worse with the phones.
I had a coworker tell me, I don't know what life was like without social media.
Yeah.
I was born into this age. This is all I know.
And you remember, you used to have the older generation looking down on the younger generation. Now everybody hooked.
Yeah, you got grandma doing twerk videos.
Yeah, you got your abuela.
Yep.
All day playing games.
Yep.
From the old to the young, they're hooked.
Yep.
You had the movie The Terminator Genesis. When they went into the future, they went back to the future, right? They went to the hospital. There was a hospital scene, and you know, in the movie, they're like, "What's going on here?" They were like, "Skynet is already activated." Like it was a countdown, but they were in the hospital, so everybody's looking at screens, you know, and there was a countdown to Skynet. It was like, damn, we can't stop Skynet because everyone's already plugged in. And you know, you didn't know what they were talking about. You're like, what are they talking about? Everyone was just using technology. Everybody was already plugged in with technology.
Right.
But keep reading on that.
But said to them, the days are at hand. Oh, wait, so like the days are prolonged and every vision faileth. Tell them therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel.
Good.
But say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision.
Yeah, you're seeing the effects of hyperinflation. You're feeling the effects of the beginning of sorrows, the love of many waxing cold. Right? You're feeling these effects of scarcity. Usually, I saw you know, you have there shall be no work for Egypt that the head nor tail shall do. Right? You're seeing these effects from government layoffs, right, to tech jobs laying off and hiring workers, engineers from overseas, right, for cheaper pay, them cutting back on expenses, because you don't gotta have the cafeteria pimped out at this facility. you know, and feed all these workers and have all these benefits for someone overseas. Because this society is breaking down. You're feeling these effects. You used to be able to go to one grocery store and buy everything that you needed. Now you gotta go to multiple grocery stores. This grocery store got the better fruit. This grocery store here got the meat that you need. Oh, this grocery store got this product that you like. You gotta go to multiple stores. You know, so things are very scarce. I've been using crops. You know, so things are very scarce.
And not only are things very scarce, we see that a famine is coming in hard times, but also when you're paying attention to other countries, France is preparing its hospitals to treat hundreds of wounded soldiers a day for time of war. Germany is preparing its hospitals to treat at least 1,000 wounded troops a day. France and Europe sending out survival guides to its citizens on how to make a survival kit. So you got the stage is set and the signs are signing.
Yep.
You know, if you're watching and paying attention.
Yep. Only the American people don't realize how low their kingdom is.
Greater service.
Yeah, because you have people who come and visit America, you know, 10 years later, and it's like, wait a minute, this isn't any better. This is actually worse than my city. Why would I come and visit here? People are, tourists that are actually coming to America, it's actually decreasing.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, now people want to leave America to go on vacation. People used to like have hot spots. Like Austin, Texas used to be a hot spot. People want to go and visit, but people destroyed those lakes they had over there with pollution, beer cans all in the water. So Americans, like you had the movie The Matrix, are the virus of the planet Earth. The Edomite man is the virus of the planet Earth. He just destroys everything. Yep. You know, the world is his trash can. He just throws trash everywhere. No matter how rich your neighborhood is, you can live in the nicest, drive through a nice neighborhood. You know, they'll have shit on the sidewalk. You know, trash. They gotta send, you know, they gotta send cleaners to go clean up after those Edomites. They're dirty. Keep reading on that, bro. A little bit more. Do you have anything you want to bring out real quick?
Verse 24. For there shall be no more any vain vision, nor flattering divination within the house of Israel.
Yeah, something flattering. You know, before, you know, you're going to have a rapture come because things are so bad and rapture you up. You know, I was looking for a video. What happened to that guy? That pastor?
Exactly.
You know? He didn't make a part 2 video.
This shit took that guy out of here.
They really should have.
You know what I'm saying?
Should have locked him up in jail.
Exactly.
But he's in Africa.
He's somewhere hiding.
You know?
In a hut somewhere.
It's just like, wait a minute, your pastor, people really thought that was gonna come. And you know why? You know, what people learn really from the Bible? Hollywood movies. That's where people get the information about the Bible. They literally, there was a Hollywood movie, I don't remember the name of it, where there was literally a rapture. And the goddamn Antichrist came,
Right.
you know, and there's a commentary, you know, and it's like, I guess one day, like, you wonder why everything is so bad. One day the rapture came, and
Right.
millions of people left, you know, and now you have the Antichrist rule in the White House, you know, and now we're just down here waiting for the ends, living life, and it's horrible. And people believe stuff like that because they said it was in the Bible, and, you know, people really don't read the scriptures.
Yeah, because if they read the scripture says, no man knoweth. The angels don't know.
Right.
Yahweh Shai don't know. But yet, it was a date.
Right.
It was a date and time on when the rapture was coming.
Because these people are so big on dreams. Right? I got a quick precept.
Bring it up.
This Ecclesiastes 34:1. The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools. Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth a shadow and followeth after the wind.
Today's my last day. Today's my last day. Man, that clip where that guy said he's never been late to his job in 30 years, 20 years. I sold my truck. And I started laughing when he told the story. When he was telling the story to his boss, I started laughing. And he said, you know my boss did to me? He started laughing at me. I started laughing too. I did start laughing.
Right.
The story sounds so like, are you serious, dude?
Right.
Why did you sell your truck? Why didn't you just like leave it out there with the keys in the ignition?
Because I had faith. I had faith.
Yeah.
You know?
You had a woman make a clip. I was looking. They didn't really have. I'm surprised they didn't have too many like clips. Like it wasn't trending like a.
Because you're a fool if you do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I seen the video. They was all well, this was in Africa or something.
Yeah, it was like Guyana.
They was all standing in the woods,
They
looking
was
up at the
screaming.
sky and shit.
You had the guy on the day. He said, "Hey, it was." Man, he was like, you know, it just turned 12:03 in Jerusalem.
Right.
He's like, yeah, man, it just turned 12:03, so it's morning time in Jerusalem.
Right.
It's about 4 o'clock here, so I'm still hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm still hopeful. You know, you had like 6 people in this live stream.
Right.
You know, it was popular because it was so crazy, so it came out, but it wasn't like, you know, Christians at my job weren't doing it.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it was crazy enough to hit the mainstream media.
Right. You know, the funny thing about it is, there's nothing wrong with dreams in a sense, as long as they're spiritual dreams. You know, and
They
that,
gotta link up with the scriptures.
yeah. And then this was not even like everyone, all the brothers been saying. This is not even scriptural.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The scriptures say, "No man knoweth the hour," not even Yahweh shot.
Yeah. Right.
You know, so it's like if these are true Christians, true followers of the anointed, you know, the scripture said we ought to obey the Most High rather than man. Fuck your dream. What does scripture say?
Yeah, read it again. That's a good one.
Yeah, this is Ecclesiastes 34:1. It says, "Understanding the hopes of man, void of understanding." He was void of understanding.
Yeah, they all were. You know, what's gonna happen on the 25th when you're still here?
Right.
Joke's on you, man. I'm not gonna be here.
Right.
I'm not gonna be on social media. And you know, a lot of people are it's kind of cruel to mock them. You know how these Christians, you have people mocking them because they're saying like your God's not real.
Right.
You know, but it's just the truth though.
You can still see it's good. I just
You know?
turned it down.
Yeah, no, I know that. You know, it's cruel, but hey, man, yeah, you play dumb games, you get dumb prizes.
Right.
Stupid games.
Stupid prizes.
Yeah, it's just like, what are y'all talking about? You're void of understanding, and we're here to give you the understanding, so we really don't feel sorry for you.
Right.
You know, those mockers and scoffers who don't even believe in the scriptures, they're going to be judged at the end of the day. Because a lot of people don't believe in the Bible. A lot of people are joking about the Bible now. So they just discredit the scriptures even more. That's why the average person don't need to dictate with the scriptures. So you got to leave that to the prophets.
Right.
That's why the Lord said no more flattering and vain divination.
Yep.
You got it, bro.
And the scripture also said, "Lord set forth the apostles last." You know.
As it was a spectacle.
Yep.
You know, so this is a show, and they want us to be devoured at the end of the day.
Yep. It said, Ecclesiastes 34:1, "The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools."
Yeah, dreams lift up fools. You know, God came to me in the dream. You know, and because he has that accent, you think he's smart.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the elder Manak Zakba, he did a video of a woman. She said those Hebrew Israelites, they was right.
Yeah.
They was right. We might the delivery might have been a little rough.
Yeah.
But we was right. You know, and a lot of people, they know we right.
Yeah.
They just don't like the delivery. We might seem rough. We might seem rude.
Yeah.
You know, but what we speaking is right.
Right.
And it's all coming to pass.
Yeah, like Elder Pastor likes to say, and it's a beautiful analogy, if the house is on fucking fire, are you gonna be like, hey, house on fire? You man, get the fuck, yo, the house is on fire.
Yo, the fucking house, everybody get the fuck out.
Exactly.
Yeah, like somebody, you're gonna hear your neighbor might see the fire. You're gonna come banging on the door.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna come banging on the door. You ain't gonna be like, hey, hell yeah, what you doing? Man?
Right.
Your house is on fire.
Right.
And people run out of there.
Yeah. And somebody tell you, hey, yo, get the F out the street. You about to get hit by a car. What you gonna stand there? Cause
Right.
no, you yelling at me. You ain't gotta say it like that.
Boom.
Bam, now you just got smacked by a car.
Right.
Because you wanna be in your feelings.
Damn. It says, whosoever, verse 2, Sirach 34:2. You good? Yes, it says, whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth a shadow and follow after the wind.
You can't catch your shadow.
Exactly.
You look like crazy. You look like a crazy person running after your shadow.
Mm-hmm.
You look like you're trying to catch the wind. You're like, what is that guy doing? He looks bugged out.
Right.
You know, that's the same thing if someone who's trying to follow after a dream.
Right. Got 2 more verses.
Go ahead, brother.
Jumping down verse 6, it says, if they be not sent from the Most High in thy visitation, set not thy heart upon them. For dreams have deceived many, and they have failed that put their trust in them.
That's right. So dreams have deceived many.
Damn.
You know, and how do you know that dream wasn't sent for the Most High? Well, you gotta link up with biblical prophecy, because
That's right.
Joel, the 2nd chapter, tells you the Most High shall, you know, your young men, you know, shall
Joel 2.
prophesy. Yeah.
Yep. You
But,
want it?
yeah, you can get it.
Okay.
You should like Joel 2:20.
Yep.
Somewhere around there. You know, your young men shall prophesy.
I think it's 21.
Yeah. Or 21 or 28.
Yep, 28.
Yeah.
This is Joel 2:28. Anybody? Showing up well. It says, and it shall come to pass afterwards, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, low battery.
Yeah.
Hey, good dog, go get a charger from Karab. Go ahead, bro.
Yep.
Read it one more time.
This is Joel 2:28, and it shall come to pass afterwards that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh.
Yeah, so in the last days, the Lord would pour out His Spirit upon all flesh. You know, and men would have dreams, and men would, you know, tell about their dreams, and we saw that recently.
Yeah.
You know, a guy explained how he had these 2 dreams. You know, they was pretty spot on. You know, I'm a skeptic nowadays. You know, people, the Bible talks about that. You know, he might know a little bit about scripture, so that's why he was able to correlate it.
Right.
But you know, you still nobody unless you repent. At the end of the day.
That's it.
So that's really what it comes down to. You know, brothers have different dreams and visions, and you know, we have a whole channel based off GMS dreams and testimonials.
Yeah.
Shit, I done had dreams. You know?
Okay, Martin.
Right.
I'm messing with you, bro.
Shit, I had dreams of the sky on fire and dark.
Yeah, I've had dreams like that.
Yeah, you know, I had dreams of chaos and like a damn near like a zombie 28 days situation. A lot of brothers had dreams like that.
Like the Kingsmen, when they flip that switch.
Yeah, you know, like all types of dreams, you know.
Yeah, guess what's coming.
But that's prophetic.
Yeah, it's prophetic.
You know?
We can link it up with the scriptures. We can read out of the Holy Scriptures.
Exactly.
And say, oh yeah, this is gonna happen.
Yeah, we're not gonna read. The Lord gave this vision to this Hamite. We might be a Jake, given these dates. You know what I'm saying?
Those women were Jakes.
Oh, you can tell.
They were simple as hell.
You can tell.
Them simple twins.
Yeah, you got the board. The cords in the truck.
There you go.
Oh, we got. Never mind. Never mind.
Oh no, you got the new iPhone?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It worked.
Slovakia. Alright. It says, and then your daughter shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions, and also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit.
Yeah, so so that is prophetic for everyone to for people to have dreams and things like that.
Right.
But it has to be prophetic. Leave the charger in the case, bro.
Yep.
This is Acts chapter 2, verse 17.
Yep.
And this shall come to pass in the last days, saith Yahweh. I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh.
Same thing that we just read in Joel. You know? The Lord says he's going to pour out his spirit upon all flesh. It could be a heathen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It don't have to be a Jake. You know, I did a lesson some years ago on this Edomite looking, older looking Edomite lady. And she was going into how she had this vision of people being sea-hipped. You know? And she was like, she saw this guy running and he had the sea up in his hand. She was holding her hand like this. He was like, I gotta go see the prophets. I gotta go see the prophets. But it was too late then. You know what I'm saying? Like, you already done took it now. You know? And she was like, I noticed that was in the Bible. And she was like, but prior to this dream shit, she was an atheist. You know, but she was like, for some reason, this dream just made me want to seek God even more.
Yep. That's right. People are gonna be looking for answers.
Hey, it was Edomites that had dreams of civil war.
Yep.
And world war that brothers that shared, videos of.
Yep.
Them seeing the civil war in their dreams, of them seeing world war in those dreams.
Yeah, you remember the guys in Boston, the bug outs. That's why it says scripture said dreams lift up the hearts of fools as well, because you can have a prophetic dream, it can lift you up. To think you're more than you are. Yeah. Joseph had his dream.
Right. Yep.
And he didn't get lifted up.
Nope.
But imagine if he did though.
Right.
It'd be a different story.
We all be through.
I know, right?
What'd you say, boy?
And not to mention, a lot of us have dreams and keep it to ourselves too.
Facts.
Because every time a brother have a dream, he don't run and record it or speak on it.
Right.
Sometimes you just gotta let that simmer and try to just
process it.
Yeah, process it. Like, what the fuck did I just see? Yeah. Like, there were times I like, what was that?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that about?
Yeah.
But yeah, back to verse 17. And this will come to pass in the last days, saith Yahweh, I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions.
Even women, that don't mean they're a prophet. The Lord just gave them a vision, all right? And that vision is going to be given to their husband, all right? If they don't have a husband, all right, to the prophets to interpret it for her, man.
Yeah. And that's why they do a lot of people, they do their dreams. The most recent dream, the guy was guessing a little bit, but people explain their dream, they know it's biblical.
Yeah.
But they didn't know it was biblical or those events would happen. It's just the Spirit told them. So I always think about that dream of that Latin woman. Is on this side.
Yeah.
You have the dream about the Latin woman, and she basically saw the Lord.
Oh yeah, she was crying.
What? You got it.
They going,
yeah.
Oh yeah, she said he was not. That's the one when she said he was not happy.
Yeah.
I saw his face.
Yeah.
She didn't say what he looked like.
Yeah.
But
she said the look on his face was.
The look on his face was fierce. He came back angry.
Yeah.
And we can read that. So let's get that in Isaiah 19.
Get my sword out.
Go ahead. Any more than that?
Yeah. And your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And on my servants and on my handmaidens I will pour out in those days in my spirit, and they shall prophesy.
Yep. And people are prophesying.
Yep.
You know, people are telling you, like, this is what's coming. This is what I saw in my dream, my vision.
Yep.
It was bad times. It was evil. It was pestilence. It was a time like none other. And that's what the scriptures tell us. Scriptures don't tell us at this date, this hour, you know, the southern part of Asia is going to get delivered, you know, on this day because of the different time zones and sounding so elegant and smart. And I wonder if he got money for all that stuff, you know, leading up to the event, because recently the clip went viral.
Yep.
But that was like done months ago, you know, telling you about the date months later.
Yep.
You know?
He definitely more than likely
profited from it in those during that time.
Yeah.
Where's he at now though? Where's his clip?
Right.
I was looking for him.
He vanished.
Right?
It's Revelation 1:7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen.
Yeah, so when Yahushua comes back, he ain't gonna do some secret rapture. No, every eye is gonna see him. Everyone is gonna see Yahushua and the elect getting beamed up.
Right. I got definition for wailing.
Uh-huh.
It says crying with pain, grief, or anger. And why is that? Why are people gonna be crying with grief, pain, and anger? One main reason is why what the prophets have been saying was true. One major reason because what the prophets have been saying, so why head apostles, their elders before them, telling you what the Lord looks like, how he's coming back, you know? It says howling. Makes you think about Isaiah 13.
Yeah, so people are gonna be in fear.
Yep.
You know, everybody's like, everybody was excited. It's gonna be a great day tomorrow.
Yep.
Today's the day.
Yep.
Woke up all excited. Today's the day. You know, no, it's gonna be a day. Even we're gonna read it. Even the elect are gonna be scared in that day.
Yep.
And they're gonna be the ones getting delivered.
And the scripture said it's gonna be a day of thick darkness and gloominess.
Yep.
Yep.
It wasn't thick darkness and gloominess that day. It was still sun peeking through the clouds.
Yeah. When them chariots come, they're gonna, you know,
It's gonna be
it's gonna be
thick
different.
darkness.
I had a vision on that.
Yeah, I had a vision. You know, we were walking. We all telling our visions, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
We don't, you know, we don't know if it's gonna be, you know, exactly like that.
Yeah.
But I was walking. I was actually with the San Francisco brothers, and we were walking on this like straight gate, and we were like on a mountain. But it was thin. It was very like a thin trail.
Yeah.
And we were just walking down this mountain. It was like very dark. It was kind of like a fiery environment.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. Everything was just like, it was mad dark and it's like fire was everywhere, kind of like. But you could still walk, you know. And you had and basically, you know, we knew the Lord was gonna come back. You know, it was just a time when the Lord was about to come back, and we all just was like, the Lord's coming. We saw the chariots coming down, and we just closed our eyes and prayed. You know. Is the blue light coming on?
Yeah, I turned it on.
Okay, okay. But you was reading, bro? Or was it like about? Was that it, right?
No, it was just saying like, you know, howling, you know, wailing, you know.
Yeah, so people are gonna be in a huge distress in that day. You know, very nervous, very afraid, scared to death.
Yeah, man,
Men's hearts filling up with fear.
People legit go be having heart attacks. Legit. People gonna be having heart attacks, strokes.
Especially when they see, you know, they gonna know the prophets were right.
Yeah, they gonna be gripping on their chest. Oh, it's gonna be that crazy.
Yep.
Yep. You want to wisdom Solomon in the 5th chapter?
That's spirit. To the 5th chapter, right?
Yeah.
It's Revelation chapter 11, verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither, And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud.
Yeah, that cloud being the chariots. You're gonna hear that trumpet. You know, the voice of the archangel Michael saying, "Come up hither, that you receive none of her plagues."
Yep.
Right. So and they ascended up into heaven in the cloud, and every eye shall see him.
Kind.
Right. Every eye is gonna see the elect getting beamed up.
Yep.
This isn't gonna be some type of secret event. And during that time, there's gonna be war going on in the earth.
Yeah.
World War III. That's what we're reading here in Revelation's 11th chapter.
Now, quick hit.
Go ahead.
The Psalms 104:3, who led the beams of his chambers in the waters, who make of the clouds his chariots, who walketh upon the wings of the wind.
Yeah, so the clouds are the chariots, the spiritual vehicles of the heavens.
Yep.
That's what the clouds are. So they got vehicles that are coming, you know, to save and deliver, but also to bring destruction. Right on the same day that they're coming to bring salvation, they're coming to bring destruction. So destruction and salvation fall on the same day. That's why this is the 2025, the hopeful year of our deliverance and judgment and destruction upon Esau, Edom.
Right.
You know, they go hand in hand. Any more? That was it, right?
That was it, yeah.
I got a precept.
Bring it up.
1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 17. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. So shall we ever be with the Lord.
Yeah, you got people that believe a rapture is going to come, and then, you know, you're going to come back down to the earth in your new bodies, and, you know, and we're going to be living among them. We're going to be living testimony and say, hey, look, just like the Lord did his 40 days on the earth, you know, he spent with his apostles and showed himself to certain men that, you know, they're going to get that second chance of salvation.
Right.
That's what the Christians believe. No, when New Jerusalem come off those ships, it's going to put the earth into subjection.
That's right.
You know, because they're going to be and to set the world, you know, up in order again.
Yep.
You know, so those who are alive and remain, because you're going to have some men who are martyrs for the truth, who are going to die, and they're gonna come back with the Lord on the ships, or they might get beamed up first, you know. In all types of natural, you know, disasters, you know, not natural, basically divine. You're gonna see the power of the Lord in that day.
Yep.
You know,
Divine intervention.
divine intervention. That's right.
Because the only way you gonna make it through these times we're getting ready to go through is divine intervention.
Yep.
It's about to be famines, viruses and diseases, civil wars, Egyptian against Egyptian, beasts of the field. The only way you're gonna be able to make it through these times we getting ready to go through is divine intervention.
Yep.
You're gonna need every bit of mercy and compassion you could possibly receive.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to be directed by the Lord, because you ain't gonna be no rendezvous points. All right, yeah, we gotta go to this state and go to this city, or we gotta go east, or we gotta go west, north, or south. No, you legit gonna be directed.
That's right.
You ain't even gonna know which way to go. The Lord gonna put the Spirit on you.
That's right.
And will surround you
That's
to
right.
go and to lead you to whichever way you go.
Kind. This is when you was talking about putting the the earth in subjection. Luke 19:27. But those my enemies which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
That's right. After we get out those ships, we're gonna go throughout the countries where Israel is and purge out the rebels.
Yep.
You know, they don't want the Lord to reign over them. They're gonna be slain. What is that, Leviticus 26 and 7 or something like that, I believe? Where like one shall chase 1,000.
Oh yeah.
Maybe like 26 and 7. Yeah, read it.
This is the book of Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 7, and it reads, "And ye shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword. And 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight."
That's right. You know, and this is gonna, you know, Jake had that power, you know, before, you know, because we used to have, you know, a high level, his nation of Israel always had a high level military because we had the Lord on our side.
That's right.
You know?
Small numbers at that.
Yeah, small, you know? We were the smallest nation. Conquering the earth. Conquering, you know, our region, our portion that was given to us. But Yahweh Shai, all things were made by him and for him.
Right.
Right? Yahweh Shai is coming back to conquer the earth.
That's right.
So this is going to happen again. 5 of you are going to put 100 to flight. Read again.
I may say it's all spiritual. Like, think about it. When you see Jake, you know, they like in a DV dispute, they bring like damn five cops, you know, because we're naturally stronger than them. You see Jake knock out 2 sleazy E's.
Oh yeah.
You know, and ready for more. And that one pool party, I think, and Jake was just, he was just,
Oh, yeah, I seen that, yeah.
you know?
Whooping him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the book of Leviticus 26 and verse 8. And 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight, and your enemy shall fall before you by the sword.
That's right. So by the sword, our enemy is going to fall before us. This is all going to happen again when we come off those ships.
Yep.
That spiritual power to be able to chase, you know, and to hunt down. And brothers have had dreams about that.
Yep.
Getting off the ships, you know, brothers get off the ship. He said, hear a loud like war cry.
Yeah. I remember that.
And like drums going off, and
Yeah.
a war cry. He said you could just feel it in the air. People were afraid when they heard that.
Hey, didn't say the Lord gonna return with a shout? A shout.
That's a war cry.
Yeah. You know, and that shout goes send goosebumps up your spine.
That's right.
Shit, sometimes just thinking about
That's
it, your hairs will stand up.
All right.
He said in the dream that it bursted their ears. It bursted some of the ears.
Damn.
Shout.
Damn.
That's
Yeah.
That's some terrible, crazy times, man.
God. So I got a quick one. This is Isaiah chapter 40, verse 29. It says, he giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might, he increase of strength. Right? Which is what the Lord's going to do. Okay? And this is our faith, man. This is what we believe. Verse 30. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord, that's what this thing's about. It's about waiting. All right? And no one likes to wait. We live in a society where everything is, you know, quick and accessible, man. Microwave society. Yeah, the water. You know?
No patience.
Come on.
They say even the youth, you know, so you know, the youth seem like they always got energy out there playing.
Yep.
You know, chilling, having fun. But even that day, they're gonna faint.
That's right.
They're gonna be, oh, I'm too tired. I can't keep up. You know. But those who renew their strength is those who trust in Yahweh by Shema Shai.
That's
Yep.
right.
It says, verse 31, Isaiah 40 and 31, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength, like he was going into.
The spiritual power.
Yeah. All right. We once had a level of spiritual power, man. Strength-wise. All right, but we, as the earth went through age, so did we. It says, they shall mount up with wings as eagles. Right? And an eagle, what? It flies. Okay? And you know, and like, look, you know, we talking about dreams and stuff. I had one. I had a vision. I was thrown from one of those planes, man. Just thrown out of it. And I called on the name of the Lord 3 times. On that 3rd time, shh, get the fuck off, bro. I was like, Yahweh Shema Shai, Yahweh Shema Shai, Yahweh Shema Shai, and fucking took the fuck off, man. You know, and that could be for a brother, you know, or it could have been for me.
Yeah.
But I know I was in the dream and I got thrown out that fucking helicopter, or whatever it was. It says,
It's like you, that name of the Lord to activate you. Think of what's it, Shazam? But do he gotta say it 3 times, or he just say
Well, no,
just one time? Shazam, bam.
Yep.
Just transform you. How about Shemi Awashai? She go call on that name, and the Lord goes. If you of His elect, He go give you what you need.
Yep. And it says, they shall run and not be weary. You know, you're going to just have a burst of energy. You're not gonna get tired, man. You're gonna be able to run. I mean, just, you know, like the Flash.
Yeah.
It says,
And not get tired.
yep, it says, and they shall walk and not faint. You gotta imagine that, man. This is what's coming to the elect of Israel, man. Lord, won't be some of those men that endure. It's gonna be a beautiful thing, man. I remember one of the brothers in the B-More camp was going to a vision he had. You know, he said he was, I think it was with his family, and you know, they had nowhere else to go but out the window. He said he went out the window, they was walking on air. My phone just chimed in. You know, walking on air, bro. So it's gonna take big faith in these latter days, all right? And lean on Yahweh Shemi Awashai, man. That was it on that.
This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 18. And therefore will the Lord wait, that He may be gracious unto you, and therefore will He be exalted, that He may have mercy upon you. For the Lord is a God of judgment. Blessed are all they that wait for Him.
Yeah, we're going to be considered favored in the eyes of the Lord that waited for Him, man. All right? And when you're waiting for something, you're really suffering. All right? And especially in these times we're living in, waiting, it's like torture, man. These jobs beating you down. Everyone is fighting against you in this current age, man. Except for the brothers. That's why when we come out here, it's like a sign of relief. You know, you smile. You may be going through something, but it fades away. You know?
Because you know this truth reminds you that none of this shit matter.
Don't matter.
It's all temporal. You know? We seeking what's eternal. We seeking immortality and eternal life. And this life we live in now in this society, in this world, everything is temporary. It's to your job, the car you got. You know, your sneakers, your clothes, you gonna need new. Like it's all just a bunch of BS.
Yep.
You know, and it doesn't matter. What matters is the Lord and this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you know, and obtaining the knowledge and receiving the gift of faith.
Right. Is that on that?
No, I got something else.
Okay.
Luke chapter 21, verse 19. And your patience possess ye your souls.
Yeah, and
You gotta, in order to wait, you gotta have patience. Hey yo, just wait. That means have patience, you know? When you wait in the line, you showing you have patience. When you waiting for something to come in the mail or for someone to bring you something, you rehearsing patience. Because you want it right then and there. You want it immediately, you know?
Yeah.
Shit, we want salvation.
Right.
We want the kingdom now, today. We want the Lord to come back now, immediately.
Yeah, when we first found out the truth.
Yes.
You know, a month go by, a few months, all right, you know, I'm ready.
Yeah, right. Yeah, shit. You was ready. You first found out you was an Israelite and you was gonna be an inherit the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
You wanted that immediately.
Yeah. But we ain't been through nothing.
Yeah, but we ain't been through nothing, and we waiting.
Yep. I got something. Oh, you got something?
Yeah, I got it.
I got because it's back on what you were just saying. This is Ecclesiastes 2:14. It says, "Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you?" Got tired of suffering, got tired of waiting. You know, well, I still got this career I can go work out. You know, I can get power that way. You know, I can get salvation that way. I got a bag waiting for me that way, that direction. You know?
Comfort.
Comfort, yeah. But it says, Sirach 2:14, woe means destruction unto you that have lost patience. You gave up, you got tired. You didn't really believe what the Lord was saying, man. This was a hangout spot, you know? To hang out with some true men. The ones that ain't trying to fuck your bitch. They ain't trying to take your money. Get over on you, but some of these camps do. You know, it's been coming out. All right? But it says, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? Because the Lord is going to visit each and every one of us, man. You know? And your works, what was your works? Did you cast the works of the Lord behind you? Or did you go and flip that money? What you got for me? You know?
All right, what did you, all right, here I am. All right, what you do with the time I gave to you?
Right.
I gave you some time, you know? What you got for me?
Right, right.
What you do? So show me what you did. You know?
Yeah.
Show me what you got.
Right.
You know, I gave you this, you know, shit, you know? I gave you time, I gave you this, I gave you what you needed. All right, now let me see what you did with it.
Hey, what's that movie, Life? I don't know if y'all seen Life with Martin and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
In the beginning, when the drug dealer dude was like, you know, where's my money at? You know? He's like, give me more time, Spank, give me more time, give me more time. And then he took Martin and he dumped him in the water. And he's like, come on, man, don't do it like
Don't do him like that.
Yeah. He's like, I need my money, need my money, Ray. You know? But yeah, the time's gonna run out for 2/3 of our people. The ones that turned their back on the Lord, the ones that got tired of suffering. That's why Apostle Hart said, get used to suffering. You got to enjoy it. And that's a hard pill to fucking swallow, man. But you got to swallow it or get the fuck on. You know?
You know, and through the Spirit, you know, the scriptures came to mind the other day, being contenders of faith and running the race, you know, through the power and Spirit, Yahweh Shimi Awashai, we still contenders, you know? We still running, we still in the race. And, you know, getting woe unto those that have lost patience. So for what shall your end be when the Lord shall visit you? A lot of men fell out the race. They disqualified, quit.
Oh, I got a cramp.
Fell out. Fell out the race.
Yeah.
The race is still going on. The contenders, there's still contenders in this race. You know, and as the race continues, and the race is always somewhat easy in the beginning because you're fresh. You know, you're fresh on your feet, you got hella energy, but it's towards the end of the race when people start slowing down, people stop, you know, like a game or a fight. You know, when you first start fighting, they say every man is dangerous in that first round, but when now you get to the 12th round, somebody more tired than the other man in the game. You're fresh when the kickoff go, but shit, halftime, third, fourth quarters, shit, some men might be tired, wore out. You know, a marathon. In the beginning, I got this, but shit, now you can get to the middle or towards the end of the marathon, now you wore out, and people falling out, people can't continue.
Yeah. I made me think about sports when you use it's a saying called it's gut check time, and it refers to a moment where athletes' true character, courage, or determination is tested and revealed often in a challenging situation or an ordeal that pushes them to their limits. And that's what's happening to us in these latter days, man. But you can't fall away.
Bringing the dog out of us.
Yeah.
Gonna bring the dog out you. Gonna have you dig deep.
That's right.
How bad do you really want it? What are you willing to sacrifice? You know? And through the power and Spirit of Heavenly Father and His Son, we still contending and we still running the race and contending for the faith that was delivered unto the saints. You know? And you gotta have patience. You got to have patience. You have to have faith. You have to have hope, and you have to be willing to suffer.
That's right.
And get comfortable suffering.
You got something, Mike? I hope we didn't get too far from it.
No, I still see.
Come on.
There's I'll read a couple.
Yeah,
It's Job chapter 11, and verse 18. It says, "And thou shalt be secure, because there is hope." It says,
That's
"Yea,
heavy.
thou shalt dig about thee, and thou shalt take thy rest in safety." So thou shalt be secure, going to safety, right? Going to the elect, the righteous. They shall be secure because it's hope in what? Hope in everlasting, hope in Yahweh Shai, man. Because everybody else's hope is getting ready to go down the toilet. You might have stuff that you're hoping in, you got something to look forward to down the line, but eventually you're gonna run out of luck, so to say, man.
Yeah.
Especially when the crunches NWO hits, and you're on the line of taking the chip or not. A lot of people don't take the chip because why? Because they're still hoping in the vain vision,
Yeah.
bullshit of the world.
Can I bring this for you real quick? This Wisdom of Solomon 3:11. For whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain. It says their labors unfruitful and their works unprofitable. Just backing up what you were saying.
Exactly. It's all vanity. It's
Yeah.
not the Lord, It says with 1 John 2,
I know, all right. I'm looking at that too.
about
Get on in here.
the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, all that stuff's of the world.
Yep.
The only thing that's going to abide is those that do the will of Yahweh Shai.
Come on.
But I'll go back to that Job,
Yep.
Job 11. Job 11 and verse 19. I'll read it again.
Yeah.
Job 11 verse 18. "And thou shalt be secure, because there is hope. Yea, thou shalt dig about thee," going to that stability.
Right.
What?
How do we know it? The Lord told us this hope, man. Yahweh Shai told us. He's praying for us, man. He overcame the world. It's like it, brother.
No, it's true, because what we hoping with prophecies, things that are still on the line. man.
Facts.
We got stuff to look forward to. All the stuff
Facts.
like Bro stopping about the rapture shit. That's just over and done with. That's gonna have people turn atheists, man. Because the stuff like that is stumbling blocks.
Shall the Lord find faith in the earth?
Exactly. The Lord ain't coming like some cotton candy bullshit like they was talking about. The Lord is gonna be a terrible day. But that's what it's say. Blessed he that read it. Right? And it says, "Thou shalt dig about thee," Job 11 and 18, "and thou shalt take thy rest in safety." So going to your mind is stable. We're not gonna have rest as far as we're gonna be chilling, lazy boy style in the phantom. We're gonna be secure and safe because why? Because the name of the Yahweh Shai, man. We have hope. When you go to sleep and you have hope, you sleep good, man.
Yep.
When you hopeless, you up all night. You worried about what's gonna happen. You're unstable. And that's the people now, man. That's what they're fiending for, some football. They're fiending for, a Friday night in the town, man.
Right.
Get some drinks, but that's Isaiah 24. The murk is gone.
It's gone.
The same drink you got, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, is now $20, man.
Yeah.
You get a double shot, you spending $20, man. $10 a shot.
I saw something where people were saying they're trying to renew the club life because the club life is dead.
Yeah.
They're saying, well, let's do it in the daytime more and have more day parties and things like that. To try to bring that scene back to life, but it's all dead, man.
It's all dead. People scared as hell. Everybody got blickies.
Yep.
Club getting shot up. Who want to get shot up at the club, man?
Oh, on the news this morning, some hookah lounge got shot up.
I seen that.
Yeah, 4 people got shot.
You just trying to blow a hookah, you getting shot up.
Yeah, like good. Good, exactly.
Yeah, and you go to the club, shit. People can't even afford to drink and have a good time. You had to pay to get in, and now it's $15, $20 a drink.
Then you gonna commit adultery.
Yeah.
'Cause these women got men up in there.
Yeah, So you want to get nice and get lit. Shit, once you get in, shit, you can't afford it. After now you standing around, looking at people.
Yeah.
Cause I noticed, by experience of what I've seen, when people got the liquor and drink up in them, people having more of a good time, and loosening up. I mean, yeah, Jake act a fool, as the night goes on, but when people got the drink up in them, they having a good time. They loosen up, more friendly, But shit, people can't afford it.
Yep.
Sinners. Yeah, sinners. People dancing.
The dude committed adultery with the woman who had a wife.
Yup.
Sinners.
That's the movie Sinners.
The dude who was playing the
Oh
guitar.
yeah.
She was married. Shit, he wasn't even do. Her husband wasn't even at the party.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, quick one, I'll go back to that Job.
Yeah.
Proverbs 14, verse 13. Proverbs 14, verse 13. It says, even in laughter, the heart is sorrowful. And the end of that mirth is heaviness. So that's how people, they get on that drink and they can't loosen up, man. They're still worried about shit.
Yeah, because look, they're facing eviction.
Exactly.
They don't know they're gonna have a job next week. Look, Trump just said he's cutting Section 8, food stamps, all these things, man. People don't know where they're gonna lay their head at.
Yep, exactly. That's the sign of the times, man. Perilous times. It's so you wake the hell up, man. But people, again, they're so addicted to the things of this world, they can't open their eyes, man. Ultimately, the Lord just blinded them, man.
Yeah, addiction is heavy.
It is.
Yeah.
Everyone's addicted to something, man. Everyone is addicted. We have to be addicted to this truth.
Yeah, to this truth.
These people are addicted to video games. Nothing wrong playing the game, but it's a balance with it. Jake don't know how to balance nothing.
Video games, porn.
Yeah, corn. You know what I'm saying?
You got social media, weed, shit, man. To get women.
Smooth things. Smooth things. You got it, bro. I'm sorry.
It's Job 11. Go back to Job 11, verse 19. It says, also thou shalt lie down, and none shall make thee afraid. Yea, many shall make suit unto thee. So going to the changing the tables, man, making suit, meaning asking for counsel. Which here it is. It's the counsel of Yahweh Shai will tell you what's happening, what's gonna happen, how it's gonna play out, who's gonna win, who's gonna lose, But it's the poor man's words, man. Nobody wants to hear what we gotta say right now.
Right.
Until, a little, event happens, around the world and people start, oh shit, maybe the prophets are right, man. And that happens in waves, man. You see it, especially over there when the shit was hot over there in the Middle East with the Israel people. People was looking hella spook, man.
Yep.
And they want to pretend, act like we wasn't talking about it, but they're gonna try to bump shoulder with you. That's what makes suit means. You're gonna ask counsel, what should I do?
Yep.
And may the Lord have mercy on them, man.
Yep.
Because as the Lord even said with Thomas, he had to see to believe, man.
Yep.
So you can't shun somebody away because where was you at, nigga? You don't know.
Yep.
Thomas was an apostle. The Lord have mercy. He said, I ain't gonna believe until I touch his swords, until I see personally. I want to see. And I wish I pulled up and showed him, man.
Yep.
And he said, blessed are you because you've seen and you believe, but blessed are those who have not seen and believe.
That was a heavy cut right there, man.
That's heavy, bro. But I'll read again. Job 11, verse 19. It says, also thou shalt lie down, and none shall make thee afraid. Meaning, wisdom and knowledge be the spirit of our time, man.
Yep.
Just not a prosperity precept. In the kingdom, we can use it as prosperity. But we're laboring to enter into that rest.
That's right.
So none shall make us afraid. We say we don't have the spirit of fear. That's how the people are controlling this world now, is fear. I'm scared. I'm scared I can't make this. I can't get by on this, because ultimately everybody fears dying, man. But the elect don't fear dying because we know there's a reward for the righteous man in Yahweh Shai guys, man.
Can I bring it real quick since you said that?
Yes, sir.
This is Sirach 1:8. There was one wise and greatly to be feared, the Lord sitting upon his throne. Why we don't fear this devil, man? The Lord told us who to fear. That's him. And why do we fear the Lord? Psalm 68. The issue of life and death belongeth to the Lord. Now, yes, he can use this devil or any spirit created vengeance sends back to the spirit world, but we fear him. We reverence him, man. That's it.
Yeah, and we know how you gonna go is all about how the Lord wants you to go, which is why you better get on his right side. Shit. Which is why you better seek mercy and compassion, because it could get bad. It could get ugly.
Really?
Yep. And the scary part is, like it says in Tobit, who can tell if he'll accept you or not, man? You can do everything so far right, man.
Yep.
The Lord is not unrighteous to get your work and labor love, but he can cause a man to stumble at the end of the yard line, 1 yard line, drop the ball, Deshaun Jackson style.
I know,
and not make it, man. That's why that is therefore fear. That's Hebrews, man. We can only do what we can do, man. Like the saying goes, control what you can, But
yep.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're at the mercy of Yahweh Shai. That's the whole point of us making this. Hey, seek him while he may be found, man. You have the knowledge, you have the wisdom, you have the light. Hey, follow it, man.
Right.
Abide, in that light, as Yahweh Shai said, Walk while you had the light. You know, that you be children of the light, man. You know, these what darkness come upon you, man. You don't want to die twice. You know?
Right.
You're already dead. You're gonna come back alive. That's a miracle. Damn, dude.
Right.
You got risen from the dead, and nigga died. That's a terrible story, man. How you didn't get it right the second time? Imagine. But that's Jake, man. Jake get shot 27 times. If he got brought back on the earth, what he's gonna do? He's gonna be right back on the block.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it a little different.
Yeah, I'm gonna move a little. He might have 2 weeks in. Then they gonna nudge him. Shit, you know that work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, he gonna. That's Jake, man.
Shoot.
Dog would return back to his vomit, man. You know.
Yeah, Jake tell the brother, he seen Jake be out here teaching with us. Yeah, y'all brothers wasting y'all time. You know? Which he got a new covenant demon on him. Right? Well, we wasting our time. You done died again. You know?
The dead man walking.
Dead man walking, man. And it's funny real fast. One of the brothers, he's still with us, but he can't with BA now. Had a dream that the brother tried to come back at the last minute trying to do the work.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of them.
Yeah, definitely.
There's gonna be a lot of them. Yeah, I wish I said about that. You know, them that's gonna be coming up saying, didn't I prophesy in our name?
Exactly.
Remember me, shit,
Yep.
nephew, cuz.
Yeah, right.
You know, they're gonna be in that spirit, man.
Yeah, we remember, all right.
You know?
Hey, back to the contenders in the race. Remember, it was men in this truth that was on shit. You know that in the beginning of the race, they took off on everybody.
He got all this knowledge so
Yeah.
quick, so fast. And then you have brothers that kind of like envy a little bit.
Yeah.
Bro, don't envy a brother because he got built up with the knowledge so quick and fast. You don't know what the hell the Lord is doing.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that he came up on knowledge, wisdom,
Yeah.
and understanding so
Quick
quick.
level.
He was a powerful speaker. He was one of the favorites amongst the brethren and the elders, you know, and probably was even believed to be somebody from the ancient world. But as time went on, now look, some of the men is gone, or some of the men bugged out, and you be disappointed, like, damn, what happened? I used to watch him, you know, I used to like listening to him.
Oh yeah.
Now he straight up just fucking went all the way left. You know, going back to, you don't know if the Lord go accept you or not, and you don't know what the Lord doing with you. Which is why you have to be humble. You know, you can't be proud. You can't be proud, and you got to be humble and fearful.
One more in that Job. Job 11 in verse 20. Job 11 verse 20. It says, "But the eyes of the wicked shall fail, and they shall not escape, and their hope shall be as the giving up of the ghost," or the spirit. Because you have no hope, you're dead, man. You look at someone that's just in despair, man. They're halfway dead. They're halfway dead anyways, man. You know. You look at it in their eyes, man. The person doesn't have no more willpower. You know, just defeated, man.
Yeah.
You know. And it says the eyes of the wicked go into their desire, man.
Yep.
What does the eyes of the wicked want, man? We'll start first with Esau. He wants his NWO agenda, man. He wants everybody chipped up on a database of him being God on the earth, man. You know. And what does the average day Joe Smoke want? He wants Jake marching in Atlanta, 40 acres in a mule, still. You know. Or a white picket fence and a two-car garage.
Right.
You know, and a family, like, all that stuff's gonna fail you, man.
Our people don't understand prophecy.
That's the whole point.
You know what I'm saying? Our people don't understand what the will of the Lord is. You know, having a crib and all that stuff is cool. Yeah, you need these things, right? But at the end of the day, what does the Lord want to play out? His will. And you go against that will, you're gonna go right along with Esau, man. You're gonna be moved out the way. You got some corrupt?
Yeah. Second. Go ahead, get it.
Huh? Oh, when you finish making your statement.
Oh, I was about to say, you gotta think we need it, but if that's the end all be all, that's ass. You know, get you.
When you think about it, that's trash. That's
Right, then you go get you a house, a two-car garage,
Yeah.
and that's it. You know, you just
Still gotta work.
Yeah, you still gotta work. You go grow old.
5 years down the line, the woman gonna not be happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's gonna want to relive her youth. You know?
Yeah, like it's ass. But you gonna retire at 70. And
They can retire at 70 now. This is report. Huh? Yeah, they pushing it back. People can't retire even at 70.
Yeah, like you, right, this end-all be-all game here is ass.
Yep.
It's absolutely nothing to look forward to here, except seeing the destruction of this place. You know, because I talked to Jake one time, and you know, he asked me like, basically like, how old do you want to live here? You know, and he basically said, you know, he want to live a long life. And I'm like, to be honest, I'm not looking forward to getting old here.
Right.
Like what? It might sound sad or depressing, but I'm not looking forward to getting old in this wicked, sinful kingdom world and society.
Nah.
This world is ass. Filled with virus and disease. These bodies is weak. We getting poisoned on the daily,
Right.
and we got to work to the day you die.
Yeah, you
I'm
got
not looking forward to that.
you got fools causing erectile dysfunction in men and young men.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
young men.
Women being filled with testosterone, men being filled with estrogen. That's why I stopped drinking beer, man. I used to like drinking beer, but they fill it with fucking estrogen, man. That's why you get man boobs.
It's crazy, man.
Fuck this place, man. You got it, Karab. You got something? All right. Go ahead, Karab.
This is 2 Timothy 3:1. Just know also that in the last days perilous times shall come.
And that's literal.
Yep.
That's not you know, hyperbolic. You know, it's abstract. You know, it don't really mean that. You know, no, that's straight to the point. Perilous times gonna come, man. And what is the last days, man? The last days is pretty much the season of the ending of this evil, wicked, sinful world, man. You know, started first again when Yahweh Shah was on the scene. That was the beginning of the last days. Now we're in the last days of the last days, man.
Yep.
You know, you know, we're at the end point. You know, the highest peak. You know, of the movie, man, the climax, right? And again, that's as a result, you know, and that's why you have people bugging out, losing their goddamn mind, right? And you have the elect ultimately stand up for great boldness, man. You know, what? And notice how he didn't give a date, okay? For you weirdos. Go ahead.
2 Timothy 3:2.
Read it a little louder when you read it.
This is 2 Timothy 3:2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud.
I would have made the wheels a little bit bigger.
You can see me bouncing that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, read again.
This is 2 Timothy 3:2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
Yep. That's a really important point to hit. Lovers of themselves. Everybody's all about themselves, man. A very selfish and self-centered society, man. No more love to your neighbor, you know, your own family. Well, read up articles about your own daughter getting starved to death, shot, killed, you know. That's supposed to be the most precious thing on the earth, man, is your own daughter.
Yep.
You know, especially to a woman, right? But it talks about, especially our women in Job, they like going on to an ostrich.
Yep.
You know, they'll step on the damn eggs and they don't think twice about it. They still got damn stupid. You know?
Yep.
But they put their head in the ground, right? They don't know how to do nothing. Go ahead.
Covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers,
Yep.
disobedient to parents,
Yep.
unthankful, unholy.
Yep. And that goes into moral decay, man. Society collapsing from the inside out, and that's what's happening. And that's the average Joe Smo. They fall into that category, one way or another, man. You know, they could be 2 years old, 3 years old, a bunch of damn demons, straight up liars, right? Hiding all the snacks, right? that's you know, grown up kids, man.
Did y'all see the one where the kid chewed his chicken patty into a gun, in the shape of a gun? Yeah, he chewed his chicken patty into a shape of a gun.
Damn.
Yeah. And his mom was like, boy, what you doing? But he learned that from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh? Yeah, it was a Jake, yeah.
Jay, you got chicken nuggets want to make a gun. You got to do a lab test for the chicken. Crazy. It's sad, though.
That is sad.
You know, but again, that's the world we live in, man. This is the world that, you know, Ezra said, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? Prophets had visions and seen the shit that we're dealing with right now, and they had trouble, man.
Yeah.
You know, couldn't sleep. Sick as hell, vomiting, throwing up. Ezra.
I'm gonna be back in this.
Wasn't somebody plucking out the beards of the hair of their beards? That was one of the prophets was plucking out the
I
hair
can't
of his
remember.
beard.
We can find it.
That's in Apocrypha.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shit, some of them. You gotta think, man. They in the ancient world. and things was more had more morale and integrity in those days. So when they seen this madness, they was like, man, what the? They probably was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
What was that about?
It was Ezra.
Ezra?
Yeah, Ezra.
Yeah. I mean, shit, you could read it.
This is the book of Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 3, and it reads, "And when I heard this thing, I rent my garment and my mantle, and plucked off the hair of my head and of my beard, and sat down astonished."
The mantle. Yeah, cake. Like a Superman cake mantle.
Yeah, it's mantle.
Yeah.
He said, I mean, he sat down and stunned.
Yeah.
Yeah, so shit, he ripped his clothes. Ah, shit. Fucking pulling his hair out, his beard and his hairs. Sat down. Probably looking, said he sat down and stunned, so somebody was looking at it, like, yo, what the fuck is going on? What happened?
Just like us now.
Yeah, you
They
know?
see us and say, what the fuck going on with them guys, man?
Nah, we was out here ripping our garments off and ripping the hairs out of our beard and hair. They'd be like,
Yeah. But this is a sign of mourning, though.
yeah,
you know?
it is a sign of war. Now,
I get what you're saying.
yeah. If I was to see a man rip his garment and start pulling his hair out his beard and his hair, I'd be like, yo, what is going on? Like, what happened?
Right.
Like, what is wrong with him?
2 Timothy 3 and 3, without natural affection.
Without natural affection, so, going into again, your family. You know how many family beefs you got? With aunties you don't like, the niece, and vice versa. And that's what Yahweh Shai said about the division. You're going to have the father against the son, the mother against the daughter.
Right.
Because the love of many is waxing cold. If there's no unity in the household, what makes you think the neighborhood's going to be unity? Or the city going to be in unity?
Yeah.
And that's ultimately, and everybody got guns and blickies, and cars. A car is a weapon, man. These things are 4,000, 5,000, some of them 10,000 pounds of wheel, tire, metal.
I be seeing videos of people. It be mainly women. They be running people over.
Ultimas.
Oh, of course
Yeah.
you got it. That's standard. Go ahead.
Without natural affection,
Yep.
truce breakers,
Yep. Don't keep their word. Go ahead.
false accusers,
False accusers. They always lying on each other. Go ahead.
incontinent,
Yep. Cotton.
fierce,
Fierce.
despisers of those that are good.
Despisers of those that are good. And that was the era of Cain. Cain slew Abel because why? Because Abel's work was righteous, man. He envied him. Right? Just like with a righteous woman and a wicked woman envies a righteous woman, man.
Yep.
So it's good to say, man. Because why? Because they're not right, man. And they hate the light. Darkness hates the light. That's these people, man. So again, going to
Don't worry about it, bro.
this is the people on the earth that we live around, amongst, and we're all, compact in these cities, man.
Yep.
What the hell you think gonna happen when the shit really hits the fan, man? It's true Hunger Games, man. And that's what the Lord, again, he's warning about. It sounds cute, man. You sitting on the behind the camera, or you driving past, whatever. It's like, y'all been saying that, cool. We read earlier about that Ezekiel. But that's the thing. People don't consider, what is the chance that we might be right?
Yo.
Go ahead.
I was pondering that last week. And I was thinking about people in my life. If they just sit back and like, yo, what if they just said, what if what he's saying is actually true? Just sit back and think about it. If even if you don't believe, just sit back and think. What if it is true? It would change your whole thought process.
Sit your ass down.
Yeah, exactly.
It would open too many doors, man. They don't want to look. They don't want to look past that door. It's too scary.
Yep.
Truth is too scary.
What the Lord's gonna force him to,
Exactly. That's what it is.
you know?
Get a foot in the ass, man.
Yep.
They hit that what if, they gonna be start moving different. Like, let me tighten up.
That's when they're gonna be seeking a men of the Lord. And it's not gonna be women. It's gonna be men actually. Yo, bro.
It's gonna be meant to.
You was hitting at this, man. Not knowing you knew everything. In a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey, our family members, because a lot of our family members know we in this truth because we try to tell them. We try to tell our mothers, our fathers, our brothers and sisters and cousins and all of that. They gonna be hitting you up. Yo, wasn't such and such talking about this? Yeah.
Which I think my father, I think he knew a little something, because when I told him about it, he gave me a little smirk and he said, you know you can die for that, right? That's what he said to me. You know what I'm saying?
Truth.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, just like that. And he smiled again. He said, tell your uncle about it next time you see him. My uncle, he a false bastard, you know what I'm saying? I told him about it, and he couldn't do, he had no answer to what I was just saying. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting there with a fucking demonic smile on his face, like, yeah. You know? Goddamn demon.
Gotta bring out that one scripture that
No.
back you up.
Huh?
Gotta back you up.
Hey, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, he couldn't back you up because
Yeah, he couldn't back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just had that oil, that snake oil coming out of it.
He said snake oil.
See them bats, they be sweating that snake oil.
Yo, yeah.
Snake oil.
Grabbing that little, tapping their head. Oh man. Go ahead.
2 Timothy
Surviving
3.
the black church. That should be a video right there.
Yeah, right.
Surviving the black Christian church. We should do videos on TikTok about that shit.
Cause they do it against us,
That's what I'm saying.
man. Yo,
That's
man.
what I'm saying. Surviving the nigga church. That shit was horrific. That was horrific. Go ahead.
2 Timothy 3 and 4. Traitors.
Traitors. Jake always backstabbing each other, man. People in general, man. You know, talk behind people's ear. And I don't like it. No, shit, conspiring. It's called conspiring. You know,
Have you heard that song? Backstabbers.
backstabbers. Yeah.
Smile in your face.
OJ.
Yeah.
Whole time they want to take your place.
Yeah.
Hey, like supposed to be your man's or your brother or your favorite cousin, but he's laying with your lady.
Damn.
You know, like that shit happens too often.
But like Hawaii like to say, prophecy gonna fix everything.
Oh yeah. Yep. But that's the whole thing. This is a formula for disaster.
Yep.
The average person, again, they fall into these categories, man. At one point in time, we did, man. That's what we speak on it.
Yep.
You know?
We had to be a part of this word at some point to be able to teach and go through it and break it down.
Yeah, discern.
Yeah. Yep.
Speaking from experience, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know? What?
Heady.
Daddy, you know? Students talk about confident in a plain way. You know, when you're headstrong. You know? Like students say about a horse not broken in. You know? Being willful. You can't tell Jake nothing, man.
Right.
Without a nigga saying, I already know, I know. Or, you know, or I been knew that.
Yep.
You know? You can't tell Jake nothing, man. You know? And that's again, Hosea. People are destroyed for lack of knowledge, man. They rejected knowledge. Jake want all the knowledge of the world, man, but to serve Yahweh Basham Shai, that's foolishness. That's old school, man. The Bible's played out. It's the words of the Lord, that's out of date, man. You gotta get right with the times. You know, you gotta go to school, you gotta do this, you gotta do A, B, C. Nah, man. You know? Because the words of the Lord is the only thing that's speaking now, man.
That's right.
You know? But again, being heady, pride, that's really going to pride too, man. You know? Because of pride, the city shall be troubled. That's what scriptures say, man. What?
High-minded.
Yeah.
Lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh by Shimmy
Yeah. Lovers of pleasure. And that's the core of a first world country. Pleasure.
Yep.
It's all about pleasure, man. What makes you feel good? You know, you don't eat because you need to live and survive and, you know, be a functioning human in society. No, you eat because, you know, what they call food porn. You know? What the hell's food porn with a P?
Yep.
You know? Taking pictures and lusting after it. You know, the shit.
Mukbangs and shit.
Yeah, all that with them.
ASMRs.
Yeah, the sound shit. I don't want to hear you crunching on some motherfucking peanut butter. But there's a lane for that, man. You know, millions of hits because it's all about pleasure. You know, feeling good more than serving Yahweh Basham Shai, man.
It goes back to Mr. Crawley. Do as,
Yeah.
you know, do as
thy
thou will.
Yep. Feeling the lust of the flesh.
Yep.
It's real base and low, man. And demonic.
Beast. It's beast-like.
It's beast-like, man. Obey your thirst. Do what you feel.
Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah.
It's right tonight.
It's right. Exactly. You know, and that's what's advertised to you because that's how you can be controlled, man. These dopamine hits, the feel good. It's not about duty. It's not about purpose. It's about what I want, what I feel, what I want to do. You know. And who's leading the pack of that? Who's leading the league?
Right. That's wrong, but yeah.
You know, who leads the league in that? You women, man. You know, especially the black women. You know.
And on a lot of them mukbang videos, it be women. And it be Israelite women. slobbing and
Walking out with bags
bags.
in the mall and shit.
Shellfish and shit.
Shellfish, greasy.
Butter and shit dripping down their nails and wrists and chin.
Yep. And there's a saying, or there's a quote. His name is Will Durant. He said, "A nation is born stoic and dies Epicurean." Man.
Damn.
You know, because
Damn.
the origin of a country, you know, it's grit.
Yep.
You know, men. You know, real men. You know, which this devil did was wicked. You know, but nonetheless, you know, it was you know, real manly principles growing up. You know, in the old time, man. You know, then eventually what? Because of decadence, you get complacent. Your success, you know, you fall back. And while you're falling back, these nations are being built up, man.
Yep.
And the next new one comes in, man. The next power comes. You know. But, you had something, bro?
Yeah. It's 1 John 2:15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
So having the power of detachment, being able to detach yourself, right? To mentally remove yourself from certain things, man. That's power, man. You know, because it goes into, if you can, it's called an entanglement. Entanglement, so confusion, man. When you're on a mission, you know, especially going to the mission of serving Yahweh Shai, you don't have time for this extra stuff, man. You know, you're just upset. Like, love is a deep, powerful word, which love is keeping up the commandments, you know, but it's a passion, it's a burning. You know, if you love the world, if you burn for the world, you don't have time for nothing else, man. You know, and that could be anything. It says the world in general, you know, which that word world is cosmos going into Jake, you know, Israel, you know, but you can use the same sense, man. The world in itself, man. Love not the world, man. Because why? Because again, when you're serving this purpose and this mission, there's no room for that extra stuff, man.
Right, and that's why you see a detachment of friends, family members, because the things you was once into, the love of the world, the things you were into, it came with friends, it came with certain family members. So when you detach from this world, right, what happens? You're detaching from them as well.
Yeah, a small example, say you stop smoking, or stop drinking, or stop going to clubs and shit. Watch how certain people you was around, you not around them no more. Because basically, it really ain't no reason for you to be around them no more. Because when y'all was around each other, y'all was just getting high together.
It's had the same demons on it.
Yeah, getting high together, drinking together, partying together.
Yeah, it's the demons. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's the demons, you know. But once you stop doing certain stuff, it don't even be no reason to even be around certain people no more.
There's more, right?
1 John 2:16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world.
Right. You'll see on TikTok, you watch on YouTube or Instagram, and you see people living these lifestyles. You'll say, "Damn, that dude's blessed. That's a blessing from God, man. That's godly." No, that's what they say. Some people say gain is godliness. No, man, it's better to give, you know, than to receive. All that stuff is for your belly. You traveling and going on yachts and stuff. All right, cool. You know, but you glorifying that, man. You don't get nothing back to the Lord, man.
Right.
You know, and that's why I'm gonna come back to haunt you, man. You got, you know, people that's living these lifestyles. They're sick as dogs, man. You know.
Yeah, if I might say, and then Jake don't even know how to give back to the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Scripture said, "When thou do good, knowest to who thou doest good to." They'll go open up. You know, something crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. But again, all the stuff that's of the world is of the world, man. It's not of the Father, man. You know, you have this liberty to get right, man. Not to party and bullshit, you know, and do it how you want to do, man. You know, again, all the stuff is tied to idol worship. All the stuff that you're giving yourself over to is involves a demon, man. This is the king's meat is satanic, man. Esau. You know, this is his table, right? So stuff that you're indulging in, it's ultimately it's cursed, man. Well, one way of fashion is cursed, man. Right?
It's defiled.
It's defiled.
All of it.
And that's why it's gonna get burnt.
Slaki. What the Lord tells us in Exodus the 20th chapter: "Have no other gods before me." There's a God for every day on the calendar, man.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Just like Egypt.
That's facts. It's what you give your attention to. Some people is all into BMWs. You into the BMW demon.
Matthew 6, where your treasure is, there were your heart.
Beamers, Bentleys, whatever, all that shit. Balenciaga, Gucci. Exactly.
What you say?
Hellcat.
Yeah.
That's why, you know,
Yep.
But they say scat pack.
Scat pack. That's why they have names on them, because it's a demon type.
There's a demon tied to it.
You know,
Yeah.
at least the Lord had the spirit on you, man. That stuff. And that's what they say. There's no enchantment against Jacob. There's so many things that got spirits on them.
Yep.
You know, these electric cars got spirits on them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, dogs be having spirit. Everything, because they got a chip in them and shit.
Yep.
You know, everything of the world. You know, they all the little goddamn Rottweiler puppy. Nah, man, that motherfucker got a chip in him. He's done.
Right.
He's nipped.
Yep.
Balls, good.
Back where I'm from, everybody was into like bully pits.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, the little,
Yeah.
oh, gotta give me a bully, or you gotta do this, you gotta do that. You know, it's like, bro, that dog ain't even that serious.
It's bred, when you breed them, they got problems.
You know, and you got people spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 on the dog, but be broke.
Yep.
They serve the dog.
You serving the dog.
Picking this shit up, feeding the motherfucking dog.
Like
Yeah.
you carless or don't got your own place to stay, but you are spending all that money on a dog. Some of these people dogs be eating better than people. You know? They be feeding the dog. They be feeding the dog nutritionally dense meals and shit.
Yeah.
You know, fresh food, cooking the dog meals.
Yeah, they give them, you know, they go to the meat market and get, you know.
Human grade.
Yeah.
You get legit human grade food, fresh chicken, steak,
Yep.
vegetables, all of that. Dog eating better than a human.
Yep.
And that's all first world bullshit.
Yep.
It ain't happening in no third world country.
Hell no. Them dogs getting a scratch.
Yeah.
If that.
Dogs on the scrap.
Hey,
Right, yeah. Yeah, them dogs is a scratch. Them dogs strung up on the line, getting barbecued.
That's funny. You ever watch a video of like people just going through like these different like DR or Thailand? You see like a little dog go across the screen. That dog thin as shit.
Yeah.
You know these dogs here in America.
all fat. Cats is
Fat.
fat.
Yeah, barely walking.
You be seeing at people's cribs.
Yeah.
You got a cat wide as a bus.
Cat don't even want Chase Spices there.
That bitch supposed to be agile.
Right.
This nigga just. You know,
Yeah.
because cats are apex. They apex predators, man.
Yep.
Little house cats, they have hundreds of prey they can eat.
Yep.
Them motherfuckers on the couch eating chips.
Fat with health problems.
Right.
Look at that damn TV.
Just watching TV.
Yeah, yo, people be leaving. Yo, let me
Yeah, read something.
It's First John. First John 2 and 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes.
Go live your life. You know, that's what Jake,
Yeah.
your parents want to tell you. Go live your life. You know, go out and enjoy life. That's what they're talking about.
Yep.
The pride of life.
Especially
lust of
among the
eyes.
women.
It's amongst the women. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, I told Slacker, but I told I was telling this woman, a man can't do what a woman can do. You know what I'm saying? What I meant by that is we can't go out and live our lives like that. A woman can go out here and live her life, and everyone will come to rescue as soon as she falls. Father,
Yeah. Oh,
mother, friends,
Yeah, dude,
ninjas.
girl. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can't do that.
Yeah. I see that. Yeah. We can't do that. Yeah, girl. They could call daddy or mom and get rescued.
Mm-hmm.
A grown man, shit, we can't call nobody. We just gotta figure it out.
Right.
Tell you to be a man.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Be a man.
It says, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but it's of the world.
It's of the world, man. So let it go, man. It's of the world. Let them have it, man.
Yep.
You ain't missing out on nothing. That's what that saying goes about FOMO, fear of missing out. Especially
Yep.
coming this thing young, you know. You feel like you're missing out on your chance, you know. Coming out of high school, coming out of college, wherever. You know, you're like, damn, this is my chance. You know what I'm saying? To explore the world. I waited patiently. I did what I was supposed to do. Let me go ahead and have fun, you know. Because that's what it say. Every child in his youth is given to evil, man.
Yep.
All you're gonna do is give yourself to evil. You ain't gonna use that time to do nothing righteous.
Right.
You ain't gonna read the scriptures and get into the book, you know, do your study. You ain't gonna do that.
Right, because of the company that you're around. The company that you're around is not about this. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna pull you. Yo, man, I get, bro. Come over here now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll let you get back to that.
Right.
That's them demons.
I got a precept too.
Can I finish the last one? It says, verse 17, and the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of Yahweh abideth forever.
And that's the point, man.
Yep.
Doing the will of Yahweh Shai, it never goes nowhere, man.
That's right.
Even if you die on this side, it's gonna follow you, man. Your good works.
That's right.
With all that good work you do on this side, King Solomon went into that, man. You can have a generous son.
Yep.
You did everything right, man. You saved the money, you got
Yep.
the gold, you got the silver, you got the land, and then one night, dude gamble it, you know, and it's gone, man. You know, and that happens, man. You see these what they call them, trust fund babies.
Right.
You know, they get the trust fund, $1 million. That shit's gone, blown.
Yep.
You know, and the kids, they know that shit coming. They're not working hard. They're not applying themselves.
Yeah.
They planning on how to spend that shit.
They count it.
Get it.
Exactly. They count the ducks before they hatch.
Yep.
They're not talking about what they're gonna do with it. Expand my father's empire. They're going, I'm about to get a payday. You know. Again, it's gonna pass away. It gets old. You know, in 2002 when them Hummers came out,
Right.
them was a shit.
Yep.
Now you got a Hummer, you called an idiot.
Not nobody don't want that. Not nobody don't.
Big blocks of
Yeah,
shit.
not nobody don't want them shits.
And Jake is all about generational wealth now, and a kingdom that's fallen. Generational wealth. Well, generational wealth starts with a name.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? What legacy are you? Look, Lord, will me some of those men. Our name in the you're part of that lineage. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. Oh, it's you know.
That's right. Yeah, it goes into generation, gene.
Yeah.
You know, it don't matter if, you know, it is about the name, man.
Yep.
You know, that's why, again, we hopefully call that a number. You know, we the first of our family, man.
That's right.
The Lord got somewhere high. You sitting down there? Oh, no, come up here.
Right,
Get
right.
beamed up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't need to be down here.
That's right.
You know? It's called a promotion. You're getting lifted up. You know? But, what was that? You had something to say?
You had something Tuesday? No? Sure.
And another thing, if we not saying live your life in the closet, you know, or don't do nothing with yourself. We
Right.
just saying don't seek to fulfill the lust of the flesh. You know, seek the Lord. You know, put the Lord first, and everything else will be added unto you after that. You gotta have a balance.
Right.
And first, you got to earn that.
Yeah.
Facts.
You can't say you're going to do
Facts.
no extra shit if you ain't putting in no time. The Lord gonna see all that. That's being lukewarm. You gotta earn that balance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we first came in, there wasn't no balance.
Yeah.
Hell no.
There wasn't no balance. It was all in.
It was-
That zeal. You
Yeah.
learn balance. You
Yeah.
earn balance.
Yeah.
You don't get balance off the top.
Right.
You know. So go ahead.
It's Ecclesiastes chapter 12. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. And you know, the scripture says, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth. You know, when you young, you looking good, you feeling good, you full of life, you full of energy. You know, you full of promise. You know, you're supposed to seek the Lord in the days of your youth. You know, and that also shows you're not a hypocrite. You know, because it says, in the days of your youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. And Jake, 2/3, Jake got a bad habit of wanting to seek the Lord. Only seek the Lord when shit go left, when somebody die or somebody's sick, or when they get older, after they live their best life when they was young.
You hit the point I want to make. And that's why the Lord, I like to bring this out with the scripture, because we are the Lord's comely and beautiful woman. You don't want an old bitch that she done been through, you know what I'm saying?
She raggedy now.
And that's the problem with our women now. They wait till they get by in their mid-40s, 50s.
Right.
Oh, I want a real man. I want a man to get that. Look at Lisa Ray.
She like 60.
60, fucking through.
She still look good, but shit.
Right, look at
That shit
she's
was-
60.
Vivica Fox.
She look raggedy.
Hey, what did Whoopi Goldberg say? Right? I heard what Whoopi said?
What she got? What?
She was saying how pretty much the point is she broke and she wished she had a man. She wished she had a man. You know what I'm saying? To guide her and lead her. You making all this money from the View and you ain't got no fucking bread. You didn't have the right leadership. And you know something up when two Sleeter-mites leave you the fuck alone. Two?
You ain't right.
You know?
And they was married.
Yeah, they was
multiple
married,
times.
yeah.
They all was married multiple times. They had men.
But going back to your point, the scripture saying, seek the Lord in the days of thy youth. Right? 144 on that card with a 7. That's spirit, man.
Yeah. You know, you're supposed to seek the Lord when you're young, when you're fresh, when you're still beautiful and strong and full of energy and full of life, and still have something to give, and have stuff and have things to sacrifice.
Not saying you can't be old.
Yeah, not saying you can't be old, but you know, Jake on the way to they old and washed up to want to seek the Lord now.
Yeah, because that old man can't keep up with that demon.
Yeah.
So that demon, all right, this body's through. Let me go get another one.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You see them video clips with a spirit that go and jump on somebody?
Yeah.
Y'all seen them clips, right?
Yeah, that was on Space Jam. Remember that?
Yeah.
I was on
Yep.
Space
Nigga,
Jam.
sorry, without that demon
Yep.
on Charles Barkley, that demon left him.
Yep.
He couldn't make a damn layup.
Hey, that one Denzel
Yep.
movie, that one Denzel movie, when the demon was jumping from people to people. It was a Denzel movie. I forgot what it was called.
Okay.
But yeah, you know. But yeah, the point is, you gotta seek the Lord in the days of your youth, when the evil days come not. You know, which is getting into. We supposed to seek the Lord while we still have liberty. You know, while we still have a so-called choice.
Right.
You know you could go that way. Shit. It's Saturday and we all still young men. Men say, you know what, man? Fuck this. I'm about to go live my best life in wickedness. But we choosing to do this. The Lord put the Spirit on us to do this because we not choosing to do this. The Lord put the Spirit on us to do this.
Right.
Because man's goings is of the Lord. But hey, seek the Lord in the days of your youth, man, when the evil days come not. Because the evil days go come and people go want to turn to the Lord then, but it's gonna be too late.
Yep.
Because the doors of mercy, compassion, and repentance is gonna be closed, and the Lord gonna laugh at you and mock when your fear coming.
Anybody got anything?
Something.
Yeah.
This is 2 Timothy 3:5. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away.
Yeah, so ultimately, stay away from these damn people, man.
Yep.
Keep away, keep an arm's distance, Because why? Because they're no good, man. Hang around them too much, of course they're gonna leech onto you, man. Sometimes you can't help it. You might be in a situation where you have to stay with your family. You be around some people that might not be in knowledge. Well, you minimize the time you have with them, man. Keep it minimal. Keep it business, man. Don't be sitting down, opening up, and let them demons creep on you and bringing back old memories, trying to revive that old man.
Yep.
No, man. And that old friends list, they shouldn't even be on your phone no more, man. Who knows? Lord can have mercy on whom He's gonna have mercy.
Yeah.
But again, we want to be around godly men that are, in the right mind, okay, and sync with Yahweh Shai and His will, man.
Birds of a feather flock together, right?
Yeah, so
You are who you hang with.
That's facts. Don't condemn yourself, go ahead.
Have y'all seen Bronx Tale?
Yeah.
And they're driving super slow. A woman behind the wheel. It's like the Lord is sunny and we're sea. And every time, we're around 2/3, the Lord's like, get away from them, get away from them, get away from them. And we see why now. At the end, when them niggas got destroyed, right, in that fire, sea understood it. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't go thank Sonny, but it was too late. But we get it. Evil pursueth sinners.
Yeah, exactly. They got demons on them.
Yeah.
They bad luck being around them.
Yeah.
And again, you being around them, being joined hand in hand, you're gonna be just as guilty, man. Of course, it's in the mind, man. We're not equally yoked with unbelievers. We don't want to be around you if we don't have to. But ultimately, again, the whole point is that we know that your people are no good, man.
Right.
ACB and the knowledge of Yahweh Shai. Look at niggas now, man. It's a so-called civil society, man. So imagine, as the Lord said, imagine how people act in a green tree. Imagine in a dead or a dry.
Right.
So again, that's the whole point, man. We're all communing together. We're gathered together by the word of the Holy One. And that's what they're keeping us together. Okay, so through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. And that's one thing the Lord's dealing with. And everything else He's pulling apart, and dividing, and He's bringing the house of David together, man, through the spirit, man.
That's right.
That's all I have.
Somebody want to close it out? Yeah.
And with that, we pray and hope that you few, with that, we pray and hope that you brothers and you few sisters
Yeah, you right.
was edified. But before we close out, we got to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son.
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, B'Kakadash.
And double honor to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who grew well and who we learn from daily. And shalom to the elect.
Shalom. Oh, yeah, I lost my